Don't miss the awesome Naruto stories my sister creates. Her last channel was hacked, so to stay in the loop, please subscribe to her new channel. It would mean a lot to her, and you won't regret it. Dear Naruto Lemon fans, I'm thrilled to invite all of you to my Boosty channel, where you can enjoy exclusive Naruto Lemon scenes in a comfortable and supportive community. Choose from various subscription tiers, from Mini Lemon to God Lemon, and gain access to unique content tailored just for our fans. Plus, subscribers to over Naruto Lemon and God Lemon will receive special mentions in my videos. Support my channel and dive deeper into the world of Naruto today. Dare! Mastering the Rasengan was not as much fun as Konohamaru had hoped it would have been, and Naruto was not the best teacher. Both were splayed amongst the ruins of a clear spot in the woods. It apparently was not a good idea to introduce the flow of Naruto's Rasengan to Konohamaru's to give it a jump start. Both had been separated violently from the eruption of incompatible chakra. Konohamaru dizzily stared at the ground while sitting against the trunk of the tree he was thrown against. "Ni-chan," he whined in a tone that sounded like a kid on the verge of tears, "I don't think that was such a good idea." A boy of about 4 years old walked along the streets of the village hidden in the leaves, with hair the color of boiled wings and eyes the color of blood. In these eyes there was no happiness for me, there was no childish joy, there was sadness. His father was white, a t-shirt with a sign of a whirlpool on the back, shorts which had standard shinobium sandals. The boy was covered in dust, dirt, all abrasions, bruises, traces of blood. And why were these shinobian beating him again? The boy did not understand. Why do they hate and despise him at all? Because he is no different from other guys, just eyes of a different color. And what of that about the boy's character? Can be said that he is cold-bloodedly confident in himself. Let him not be able to do anything to them. When he came home, he said, "I thought," but no one responded. He believed that one day he would come home. You parents will meet him and give him love, but these are only dreams. The time was 1837. He decided to have dinner. Put it in the kettle. Which you thought about. Why can't he fight back these people? The answer came immediately. You need to be stronger. But how exactly? From tomorrow I will train, he said. Inspired people saw nothing better as an option. He went to the library and took a book, but since Naruto was not there earlier, he did not know that the library closes at 19:00. While he ate and ran here, this time had already passed. People went home on the way to him. Eyes were squinting, full of anger, fear, and contempt. Little Naruto jumped up from surprise. He asked in a panic, "Who is there?" "Tuna coat," said a deep voice. Meaning asked frightened people there who were looking in all directions trying to find the source of the voice. "Okay, I was joking, Naruto. You are a very unhappy child. I felt sorry for you. I decided to become your teacher," said again a deep voice. "And who are you to get to this?" Felt that someone was calling him and went along these then barriers. There he came out. Big he know, just into a giant room. On the opposite side from the entrance there was a cage, and in the middle of the cage hung a piece of paper with a Kandian seal. And then it was necessary. She said, "Here is someone. There is no rivers, guys, sizes from Nine Tails." He was black. Naruto looked, did not show emotions, as if he was thinking about something. "You were scared?" asked disappointed Forest. He thought again the person would ask for power for the next answer. The boy was amazed. "Bien, no should. Well then I'm huge, and crushing you before me is easier than easy if we assume that you haven't killed me yet. You know you're not going to do this. It's not as stupid as I thought." Grinned Rez. "By the way, maybe touch your fur," said the embarrassed boy. Said joyful Naruto. He ran up, began to squeeze the seventh tail to Yubi. "By the way, what's your name?" "Cubium, for this is buckwheat, isn't it so?" Rather approved. "What?" Naruto asked the bark. "We thought, and I'll remember the words of the father," said Kuraman. "A little cardi." Olivia said, "Ki no already Karaman. What a beautiful name, and I am Naruto locked up And I know by the way I want to start training you so that you can fight back. Other people. Naruto looked at Kurama and said, Karaman, I just met you. You won't leave me? Yes, Naruto said with no hopes. Where are you going? There, I said. Naruto was incredibly happy. Good. Now goes to sleep, and tomorrow at 6 o'clock you get up. You see, you will have 3 training grounds until 12 o'clock, exercises from 12:10 to 16 to 37. Distribution of control and in general the very beginning to feel the chakras. To sleep. 6 o'clock sunrise. The alarm clock rang and the brunette opened his eyes and barely got up because he very rarely got up like that, standing and taking off his hat, put on slippers, went to the bathroom, washed up, standing for a minute under the ice shower. Naruto got out of it, then made the bed, went to the kitchen, there took 2 eggs, broke them into a frying pan, added a pinch of salt, bacon, put on low heat, and went to boil the kettle, putting it. Naruto went down to the subconscious and said, Kav, get up. Who are you? Will die. It's me. Smiling, said Naruto, a couple for training. So you thought so? I wanted to talk to you. I was bored. Talk to a handsome man in the mirror. Thanks for the compliment on no, I need an interlocutor and not clone. Definitely you first. Technique will study the technique of shadow cloning. Where to start? Somehow run 20 circles around the training ground, 20 push-ups, 20 squats, 20 on the press, and rested. All this 10 times, said grinning Kurama. People were shocked by this but did not argue, ran after the first repetition. Naruto thought that he would die, but something gave a pleasant feeling that after 2 minutes from them he was like new. At 11:40 you finished training and said you can not bother not to enter the subconscious, you can talk, and so said the voice in his head. Exactly. Further, sit down, I will explain to you in 30 minutes what chakram is. After 30 minutes I myself basically understood. You explained it so easily that I didn't even bother to understand it. Means chakras are spiritual energy that is used for technique. Not only with it you can strengthen the body and muscles, and the most practical use of techniques happens. Excellent, seals. Everything is correct. Well done. Naruto smiled. And now the networks try to feel the okuram. Think as if this is a bucket, the water in it is chakra. After half an hour Naruto said, I feel something. Well done. And now slowly disperse this water throughout the body. The main thing is slowly, because your channels of course conducted my okuram, but still be careful. Hi Roman, he is a genius. It took them 30 minutes to feel the screen, as some have to try for years, and it is not a fact that it will work. After another half hour Naruto said, I conducted the chakra throughout the body except for the voice of the brain and of course intimate places. Well done. And now try to release the chakras out. Well, go down in a minute. It turned out to be barely visible, covering the chakras yellow color. Great, people blushed. Such thank you. I thought you would do it longer because of this. The training was so fast on this. From behind in the subconscious I see in you the same, and I want to open this door for you, said Tailed. What door will you see, Mayor? This. Do you believe me? What kind of question? Are you my only best friend? Of course I believe. Then with them, seal. Naruto thought, I don't believe that he wants to take over my body. You don't want to know? Okay. Naruto went to the seal with a sharp jerk, removed the seal. It fell on the water. Behind the seal was iron hydrogen. This is how to open concentrate chakra in benefits and hide and seal on the stomach. So I did. Their iron whirlpool began to slowly open. Sleep. After 20 seconds there was one clasp left, but this did not want to believe that Kurama wanted to take over his body, and now the cage swung open and was just tired. Went up to Naruto and said, thank you for believing me. And suddenly Roma began to decrease in size and became the height of a boy of about 12 am with black hair in a white kimono, 9 tails behind his back. He was just some kind of model, and his eyes were red with a vertical pupil. It would seem such eyes, some kind of bro, but no look of complete love there. Now I can go out the world in such appearance, but I was talking about the room, rather it is a library. Kurama raised his hand, appeared the door past, said, would still be surprised to myself. The library was huge. Many shelves with different technique stories, many other these libraries. Ev and sisters read, but he was interrupted by the owner of this place. Read this all the details pros and cons of technology by the way often here it is 1 minute in the real world you still have 3 hours it is 180 hours in this world in general. Cool Naruto treated the technique also he made a scroll Sun Detsam here is a questionnaire of the human body and the style of the soft fist of the elements history of Kanahan all this he read in 17 hours he succeeded remember this questionnaire create 4 clones on 2 attempts he learned the whole history of Konoha what are 5 elements he asked Roman Dai Chakras conducting on a leaflet there. Naruto leaflets flew thank you brother Naruto learned his element it turns out. He has 4 elements 1 genome is Futon Raiton Katona and also the genome Yaton. Temple was very surprised when he found out what his element is there then now we will immediately study the first of all your elements on Katun Fireball on the site he is a water wall. On the rating of the ball shuriken and on photon breakthrough but the raid ice needles all then. After 3 months Naradan not bad lights ball not bad 13 by 15 meters not bad hysterical for my ocean okay he is very even good. People still managed element verses of fire fireballs big Mishara fire. Dragon great destruction studies himself wind element air breakthrough great. Gust carry with the wind giant blade veteran poems lightning ball shurikens. Someone's option studies himself and paralysis water element. Water wall water spikes water prison what on ice so these are ice needles ice. Mirrors, music, crystal wall ice bullet 10,000. Ice petals ice dome tries he was at the level of Johnny, __. After all. He is trained by the tailed one himself who is the Hokage in pure Tadets will fall apart by the way, he learned the style of the soft fist and now. He uses chakra control at the level of the Irian in orang throwing shurikens was. Oddly enough, at the highest level he also discovered Sharingan it seems. Naruto's ancestor was a Czech also a basic technique like an illusory clone substitution reincarnation and so on he also found. A technique called the Flying God Technique Thunder he studies it. And recently found a scroll with the technique of Raishingen I'm thinking maybe I should go to the bathroom before entering the academy I don't know in the room sat 2 boys 1 5 or 6 years old the other 12 he both had armor on this and with red vertical pupils eyes they were like brothers but they were both very beautiful I mean you don't know brothers you know everything you just don't want to think Noru doesn't hurt to read he was reading a book called Come Picky Naruto started here himself except noticed you started giggling because he was very cute okay I think you need to go 1-1 you will immediately get a better rank all the experience in battle okay then tomorrow we'll go. Then let's go to sleep next to him my brother he took one. Waking up the next day Naruto woke up at home there was a smell of delicious food. He was good to bed went to wash after washing on and under cold water he lasted 15 minutes Dasha hoped and went to the kitchen where was his older brother doing chemistry sit down said Kuraman on the table there was a plate with scrambled eggs bacon. Next to a plate with a sandwich and also a mug of tea after eating Naruto got dressed. Jumped on his stomach having previously decided on the size and they went now along the street of Konoha a boy was walking black t-shirt with a high collar and with the sign of Clonosis Maki on the back shorts of dark blue color and bandages he also created shinobi and his hair was a hedgehog show. He was measuredly in no hurry I did not pay attention to other newspapers the residence of the Hokage entered it on his left. The secretary and said the demon decided to kill no I want to talk to him said. The boy in an icy voice get out of here demon just at this time. As I tired of all the papers went to the exit from the residence he wanted to walk. While Noiki to inspect his village come to the exit heard the screams of a woman the icy voice of a boy you want mono. I need HC Gen I will not leave until I met him here I approached the child and wanted to hit him but the people grabbed his hand and broke it how they were surprised when he hacked them it is not so easy to just touch he hacked so they told him 5 to 6 not a new genius Len what did you want asked Minato to approach the Naruto I would like to become you if you do not believe my Skills you can make sure put me one-on-one against any other album. Let's go through my office. Naruto followed. His office, it was a wide room. I saw that you own a poem. Yes, exactly like yourself. Well, there are traditionally several, and yourself you can call me Fur, you just call Minaton. Well, Mina there, how old are you? What is your name? I am 4 years old. After these words Minute turned coffee. For yes, they call again, emphasized. Come on, why? Naruto did not understand, and then besides said, I will tell you when we get home something. Well, a raven shouted at me there and then stopped. There appeared brunettes. To this boy Lei-san, well, like yourself, and he disappeared in 5 minutes. Raven appeared and gave Naruto Muscovite. Tomorrow you start to me 7 years. Good anticipation, said Naruto. This is Minato Namekads and Kushina Yuzuma Ocean. This thought he does not hold a grudge against his father, because if he were in his place he would also chicken out and would not take him family because he could destroy, and mom probably did not know at all. Okay, tomorrow she will think about it. Good night, brother, and to you in the morning. 800 Zenith alarm clock lazily reaches out the hand of a little boy. He slowly got up and looked at the time. Godmothers, we are late. Naruto quickly created a clone and ordered to cook food himself. Ran to I took the brush and put toothpaste on the bathroom and started brushing my teeth, and I didn't go in either because I had little time. That's why the cloners cooked some quick cooked noodles. For a reason they call them quick cooked noodles. Naruto ate them and put on dark blue shorts and a white t-shirt with a dragon on the back and quickly closed the door and ran to the residence. Music. Music, he tried to justify the females. Okay. Nothing terrible, smiled the blonde. Your first mission will be in Mission Gen to neutralize or kill the bandits on the outskirts of the Land of Fire. The people living there complain that they are attacked and robbed by the bandits. And why did Mr. Hanger ask the boy? Masks to the crows, because we are a rank footman. He settled like an average Johnny. I hope you can handle it. Minato, and where can I get my equipment? The boy intervened. Take him there. The head said. After looking at this she just nodded and took Naruto by the scruff of the neck. They appeared in some building that looked like a bunker. You can leave this. Report mission. Get a reward for the completed mission or get equipment, said Florence. Answered. Clear, follow me. They entered the room. Told him, please give him standard equipment. Unban, isn't he too young? Asked a woman with brown hair. She was in a hospital gown and under it was a white dress and on the legs no shoes. He recommended hockey himself itself. Clear then now, said the woman, and went to one locker, took those that he bombed. Then comfortable tight pants, shoulder-length t-shirt, also dory body armor. Shurikens were names. She asked, what animal do you choose? The quality of the mask. Fox shouted. Tank. Good woman opened another drawer. It became a mask. Saw myself here. We hold, said women can change clothes there. She pointed to the room opposite the door. I went to change clothes. Going in there sat a guy with ash-colored hair on his face. He had a dog mask. I said, hello. I'm new. What's your name? Hello, I want to wish you good luck on your first mission, said the interlocutor. Came out having changed clothes. Good, drawing of special paint will apply tomorrow. And now come to the gate. 10 o'clock we will move out. And said Fox evaporated in Russell. Torn out, smiled at Putty. It was not visible. Naruto was at home. Do not take off clothes. He entered the subconscious and greeted his brother. Entered the door. I have 60 hours. I want to study fondue. Sleep. Cyborg basic in sealing. Funin arrived. He learned everyone in 32 hours and then went to read the sealing techniques. That another 27 hours, and the people were already at least at the level of Jovens. He was tired with gilding and closed the door. He rushed at full speed to the gate because there was 1 minute left. He didn't want to be late again. There were already 13 seconds left and there were still 400 meters to the finish line. She understood if he didn't use it he wouldn't make it, and yet covered in yellow chakra he ran at a speed of 14 meters per second, and in a moment he ran to the gate. He deliberately raised a lot of dust so that his covers wouldn't be visible. He stopped next to the raven. He was surprised at the boy's speed. They set out 2 days later. It takes a week to reach the hand bomb. But Naruto literally didn't stop. He ran along the upper tracks 24/7, and his clown Dragged him about what he was surprised that the boy had such endurance. In fact, his endurance had long since run out. His boiler, a pleasant feeling of kurama chakra. Naruto remembered the chakra of this raven. It was completely white, warm, so pleasant. Having reached, they saw a half-destroyed village. The raven approached the head and asked, "Where are these people who did this?" "How many?" "17 people lost," said the elder. "Then I will torture them 17 hours, said the people. Who came to their senses did not say, "For my brother," said the little boy. They realized that they had come running to this place more than once. They had served him with seals and said he was Diatsia was sleeping, and they saw a bunch of bandits and one person with a big scar. "Ugh, so. Asked the renegade, "So it was you who allowed this village," said the gate in an icy voice. "And what if?" "Yes," laughed and the bandits, "the robber of the people. So much on and created several clones. Let's have fun," said the brunette. The fox masks evaporated at this time. 13 of his subordinates died. Afrin quickly got the cats and ran to the main one. He screamed so much that Raven and some of his subordinates' ears were blocked. He ran to his teammate with a huge sword. The people take away already thought that he would die, but in front of him stood the Jinchuriki and closed where I said the bunk you will create. In his hand pierced the hearts of the renegade and his clones. Dealt with the rest. Let the 4-year-old boy over will be stronger than the bandits. Without Chakan, the raven thanked Alice for help and said, "How are we going to convey them?" Narda took out a scroll and sealed the main one. Said, "The rest can be left, they are useless." The commander would have gathered everything, reported to the head of the village. He thanked them and decided to name his village the village of Laysan. Narda tried to refuse, but they said, "This is the only thing I can do as a thank you." The people, they willingly agreed, and they and the raven gathered the village on the road. Then suddenly said, "Thank you, if it weren't for you I wouldn't have seen this white light." "To your family and younger sister you're welcome." "The same, my partner," answered the forest. Vernus smiled and said, "Come on, for saving me I fulfilled will be your request." Naruto thought, "I will be my second brother." Smiling he said, "And who will find out first?" Alice became and said with them, "Mask, tell me your name." Then took off. With a smear behind her was a beautiful face, hair color cruel of wound in the light that took away, a pleasant dark blue color. Eyes sat darkly. He is transferred to the end of the nose. He had less shimiki that did not disfigure, gave a certain charm. "My name is this Chukihan, and me Naruto." Smiled and without a mask already ran to the village, talked about different topics, and this cherished his now new model. His sister, is he loving family, healthy food, huge house, and what of this boy? Parents abandoned, lives in a one-room apartment. But Naruto did not despair and became stronger. Found, "Thank you, brother." Music. They got to the village beforehand. Deaf masks then went to Kakae to report the completion of the mission. Having reported, they went to eat a cafe. Dressed in everyday clothes, the brothers ate. His now new brother was happy for younger Yu, because for a long time he ate so deliciously. For the first time on his cheek there was cream from the cake, and Tachi with his hand he removed it, which Naruto blushed, said, "Thank you for not having me." "Well, your parents don't mind." "No such thing." "Network about what? Then we'll send it like we'll get the reward tomorrow." "Let's take the money from Messi. You need it." "Let's take 9/10. This is 1/10. You still got tired? Then get there. He's good. Let's go." Then they entered the port check and went to the head's house. The people found out that this was the head of the main checks. Watched to go to Itachi's house. They saw such a picture. Next to her was the younger sister, and Tachi nipples. Checkom next to her was the son of Hikayan past Namekazan. They played Ninjago. Also there were Hinata, Hyugen type, and Nazoiko Sakura Harnal. They all looked at the older brother. Sasuke saw next to him a boy with dark hair, red eyes. He nipples began to be jealous of the brother of this boy. She came up and began to throw herself into the arms of her brother. He was already stretching out his hands. She already thought that she would replace, it seemed, but Itachi joined the index middle finger and hit the forehead. Nipples said, "Let's do it next time." Naruto began to giggle quietly. Nipples, there was a beautiful girl with black hair. He had dark blue eyes in a black dress with a bow on her head. She looked insanely cute. Sister began to pout. People noticed this, began to laugh, and why were all the wealthy surprised? They thought That the boy was very serious, cold-blooded, and Drag, then noticing, also began to giggle, and Nipples did not understand why. They were laughing and went on to play. At this laughed they went into the house to the points. Then inside there in the kitchen a beautiful girl was cooking. Nipples was a complete copy of this woman, as people understood this is the mother Nipples. And Takham, and next to the table sat a man with black hair. This is what greeted them. Father looked at Itachi and then at the boy next to him. Who is this and what? Asked about the line's voice. This is my now younger brother. Smiling said this, then okay, hello, my name is. Do you have parents? No. Not you. Then said the line's voice, Kian, and I will send you on a mission, USSR plus rank, to catch and bring Nipples at the table I want. Laughed. I wished him luck and myself. Saying this, Jimas began a meal in 5 minutes. Itachi came with whom a reward in the form of food, said Fugak. After eating this, as Naruto went to his room and began to talk. Then Naruto Red went to bed. Itachi laid out a futon and gave a blanket and a pillow. Two brothers with 0600 brunette, one on a futon, the other on the bed. They slept so sweetly that when the alarm clock rang, the boy lying in the photo, they smashed the honest alarm clock with one blow. There is a pretty face. Continued to sleep. 3 hours later in 9 o'clock, but he woke up from the smell of delicious food. This smell was all over the house, becoming, he realized what, 9 a.m. looking at the bed, saw that it was cleaned. Everything. Leaving the room, he went to the smells of smoke. Give me to the kitchen. Looked, but at the same time where something was cooking. Mikatosan. Good morning, Mikatosan. And where is Chan? Asked the brunette. In the morning, he said to come to you at the 9th training ground when you wake up. Clear somewhere to us. A bath. Finger pointed at the door to the brunettes. Thank you, said the brunette, and went in. One doing business, he went into the kitchen on business. Getting dressed, went to the training ground. There a meeting of gold in turn with him, a boy of about 12 a.m. with short black hair and a kind smile. He was dressed in standard clothes, a t-shirt with a high collar. Also next to them were Nipples' Min Mom. Naruto saw them, sighed, came up. Hello, this is Chan, and who is this? Show us. The boy asked the brunette. My best friend. They are here. Why? And we will train them. So I did not understand. He is a weakling. Maybe you want to say that he will be with us. Train? Asked Sasuke. No, settled. Like me, he will be even more brilliant than I. Do not believe, objected girl. Let's then together 1 against 2. If you win, I will teach you. Cool technician. Yes, Sam. Put him down, said Blondes. Ran in attack first hole. Naruto returned second gate. Third world. It takes hand. Copper break. C behind back menu. We run. Sasuke raised fist. People uses past. How does not give footrest to girl and she fell. She night smiled. Main said, how are you kids? Successes. Don't say so to you too, for so I was silent. I don't remember what is stronger than me. You wanted to put me down and now I can easily make you eat earth. So Tikkun said the last words of the Nerith with such a robed voice that Menmu began to shake with fear and the Nipples began to cry. Mediocrity. He should not take it like that. Let's leave them on the highway and take our reward. 600 heard it said so. Did not understand. Drew said Chihaya did not rush so quickly. What about their own? Did not even do anything and did not have time. Honestly, like a child, he said that, and looking at the side where they ran, their people were laughing. Jump on the roofs. Did you see his face? Okay, come on, take your time, said Naruto. I did not land on the road to life. Konoha flowed in their turn. People went to work, some strike shifts, and Bereginans tired jumped on the roofs. This was carried by report only to the center. Traded products. Had 2 brunettes walked along these streets. Everyone thought that they were brothers, but it was not so. They knocked entering. Music. 500,000 real. You can divide if you want your money now. Thank you. Goodbye financial. They went out taking the money, divided it like this: 50,000 and 450,000. Naruto. Thank you. Tramps smiled at the routes. Okay, let's go train. Pumped up Naruto. They went to Polyakov. Well, yes, there. Show your most powerful technique in your arsenal. Well, answered Naruto briefly. By area or single targets? Let's single. Well, at this time 3 pairs of eyes were watching them. Highway made of wood. Amin Masadki from the bushes said yes, he was just lucky to defeat us. Arrogantly the girl answered. The highway was silent, watched, took a breath in his lungs, released into the sky. Big in shock how big he is, people. 3 to 4 more times launched the same dragon sky, and alarmed Tachi said, all everything is dug up enough. I realized that you are good at creating a fire dragon. Nardish looked at him and grinned. After that to the sky Sazrasukam and thunder began. Here people, this created in their hands a miracle option in the sky. A huge electric dragon sparkled, it just circled in the sky. Here Naruto abruptly let go of his hand down. Not a dragon, as if on command, flew there and hit the ground with all his might. Nearby place 40 meters away at the place of impact there was a huge crater. Itachi jaw on the ground dropped, and the highway go were generally shocked by this, but as Brenna asked, pushing Itachi as he stood, so stood Doshirak remains now. He suddenly came to his senses and began to look in all directions. You called it that way. If technique to laughter powerful in scale, what technique? I didn't want to show this technique because it could have been a member, but as you do now, what can Naruto there? Echidna smiled at this, folded one seal again with a horse, and said the name of the technique. Sleep. From Naruto's mouth just flew a huge stream of fire. 20 by 20 meters the fire started. It was applied, did not have time as it finished. The rain you do not sharpen, and your pain in shock, and the children just passed out. But as Naruto asked, it was great. It was already 2100 hours. The day flew by so quickly that I did not notice it. Said this when they were still walking home. Yes, I want to eat quickly. Let's go faster, said Naruto, and ran. Itachi ran to catch up with him. They ran from competed faster centimeters to the house. Sometimes he wanted to win so much that he turned on the mode and at a speed of 20 meters per second literally humiliated this. Then he ran, and in front of the door there were nipples. Naruto saw. I decided to turn off the mode. Nipples saw something bright, did not understand. He after 2 seconds this light disappeared. The sled ran first, out of breath, and had already found the dacha because he understood that there was no point in offending this quickly. Protets. Yes, nipples. These words were like her in the heart because he never even called her sister. What are you doing here? Let's go home. They ate, went to the second floor. Brother, look, said the younger ones. That Naruto's eye suddenly became red, and a blood red eye appeared on it with 3 commas. This is exactly this Sharingan, one of my ancestors. It seems that being a ko, I will try. Then they beat me. I cried sadly, said Naruto. Don't remember I said this. I smiled. Now you will not dress, by the way, not alone. Take, and then I will do as Naruto said. And they appeared in a huge clearing. He was there, a waterfall and a forest, and on a small hill there was a house. He saw Naruto, who was talking to somewhat. Asked, this is Chan, brother. I know, this is my first brother Kuramam. He is the one you call the nine-tailed demon. Or Itachi himself digested the information received and said, nice to meet you. I will be glad to talk to you. By the way, you need to come to me. Asked this what I thought, and now to sleep, said Naruto. They went to sleep. About 11 months at the training ground. 7 trained 3 people, the boy did, and 2 boys of about 10 years old, maybe sparring. Yes, but only after rest. The time was 1803. They were already finishing, and for the last exercise they decided to do sparring. The people were standing opposite, and they decided to fight purely. Says 2 brothers started running to each other on a friend. People did not expect this. Begins to block. 1 blow missed, flew away for a good 3 meters. Of Naruto a herd ran on this eyes. They began hand-to-hand combat at first, and Taiku gave in because of this. Naruto dominated, and touch remained serious and take the initiative on yourself. I began in stupid, not to humiliate of course, but to surpass. And you in growth. His potty boyum in general, it was noticeable, and here it misses one of the blows and flies away for 2 meters. They decided to finish. They went home through the blocks of the highway, turned left, which was necessary, on the right. Having said goodbye they headed home. They said that Kostian would come today, but who they didn't know. Naruto over the past almost the past year completed more than 42 missions, ranks 23 Mr. NGS, and 4 months only in last place. RNA had to join a serious dragon. Then it was necessary to accompany the country of sand. They dimensional agreement. How could you conclude with them? So of course he was glad now. Naruto owned a 3-ton Shingon. Nothing had changed behind these scenes. Naruto earned enough money to buy himself a nice house, but since he is not even 15, he could not. During this time he began to study the technique of the flying god of thunder. He can move a kilometer. This is the maximum for now. Further, it will be necessary to spend a colossal amount of chakras. People, I did not try to do this because now he was focused maximum on the background. Take 11 months he began to put perfection barrier absorbing sound whose crom hiding the presence of chakras. However, now he can seal a creature with a height of 5 meters, a scroll the size of a notebook. This is very cool, and this size he achieved because a huge sitcom is quite difficult to fight. So according to elemental techniques learned a water dragon. Water the gun managed to create a ball with the size of a meter by a meter. This is enough to knock out a person. Water hail, water shpm dispersing typhoon, fire flurry. Furious flame was able to more or less use Karen without consequences, and the great destruction reaped 50% chakra that Naruto almost does not use it when he increases the amount of chakra then and will use such large-scale techniques. And now the reserve as a strong teaching to us, but not as Johnny insists on. The reserve does not go today, October 8th, in 2 days. The blow is a birthday. He was yesterday that he met this CM and of course Kuramam. From the first person Naruto, I entered the house and saw mom, dad and 2 other people. These were skin, and next to them was a son. Height was also with whom I passed by, so that we myself the mission was completely dirty. Here I am, my face, and looked at the reflection. I see red like blood. Eyes, 3 stripes on the cheeks on each side. Neatly small lips. Further, this is very even good, quite a relief. Body, and also began heavier body, 10 kilograms on the legs. Arms, I decided not to wear them after the strangler you acting came to the table and said hello as well as myself. Hello something. Hey, bowed and went to eat. I looked at the face. Biological MMM. She was clearly surprised by the manner of speech and how I look like his dead son. I can hide the chakras of the forest inside me, so I'm not afraid that she will feel Kuram. I calmly sat down, began to eat Knight's Bomb. Maybe she will stop in front of me myself. So I saw how Kushin was staring at me and decided to ask you something. Do you need? I said, smiling softly. Yes. During this time he became kinder than me, more cold-blooded, but in battle I am completely focused. No, it's just that you remind me of someone, said the woman, shaking her head. She probably doesn't believe that I left already. Wanted to go to my place. I know that your birthday is in 2 days. Thank you. Haki salam, said Naruto, and went into the room. Magnificently heard her husband's word and asked, isn't he usually a child? Asked the perplexed Kushin. No, he will probably soon be able to become an ANBO captain, but this is not for sure, said Min. This looked after Mino's nipples were furious because some idiot was chasing several hundred times. They are very influential children, one of the great clone. The other is the son of the head of the great village, but not all the same they can't oppose anything to this nameless, so they thought. But Naruto is not a idiot, especially not without a family. He is from the once great clones which was destroyed by 3 united villages, but too unfortunately they didn't know about it. People have already started to look like without even noticing it. He has collected 2 habits for him to read a book everywhere they want to see. Those who asked him to, they will probably disappear after sealing. Maybe tell him that I know who my parents are. I'll think about it, and now I'm very tired. I'll go to bed for now. 6 o'clock. The alarm clock rang. I'm lazy. I turned it off. Putting on these slippers, I went to the shower. No one woke up. He is the first one to wake up. Mom at 7 a.m. That means it would be better to be quieter. I decided to train today. Tomorrow to rest. Since tomorrow is his birthday, he went to the training ground, started to figure it out. 45 circles around jumped for us here, and in 10 minutes 70 push-ups, 10 minutes rest, 50 squats, 5 minutes rest, moan press, 30 minutes rest, then repeat this twice. In this control, with the help of sheets, he can hold a sheet of paper 15 minutes for him. It's not bad. Then 15 minutes like there again control, then another 3 hours, and an essay on the technique of the flying god with thunder, then 20 minutes period of all technician. Here he Finished all the time, it was 1600 hours good training. Okay, time to go home, said to himself under his breath the brunette. He was walking along the road Konoha because he did not want to be seen, especially today. He was already approaching the gate, greeted the tongues and entered the village. He was walking along the streets of Konoha and looked down because he did not want to meet two glances. Here he crashed into someone. It turned out to be a local cab driver. Why are the local drivers? Because he would like to see anyone else possible, and here he looked at Naruto with an angry look. She did not even look at it and did not even raise her head, but said, "Forgive me, I accidentally said." The cover for Makia went further, and yes, since Naruto is an orphan and Fugaku Smekton became guardians on him. Kiba stopped and said, "You knocked me down, now you think about chatting." Everyone thought that Naruto to us because let him teach, but for his age he is not a Naruto. Kept silent, looked with eyes full of cold. Nakibom knights and children, yes, while I allow. Kiba swung and collected everything to give as Naruto catches the hand and begins to wear one with another blow. Boiled, he only began to humiliate Boiling. He himself wanted to bring out all the couples after he saw the one who threw him. Let her not blame him. Attacked Zola, and here he swung again with a blow as he was caught by NATO defenders and said, "The demon, get out of here," and that's enough. With television eyes, he lost consciousness when he got into the face nearby. He calmly entered cardily. Entering, he saw his father reading a newspaper and asked, "Hello, father, and where is this then, Omar? Where are the nipples?" He was on the drums. She often began to spend the night from her girlfriends. "Hello, sonny, what did you go for?" Miku Takashinyan. "Where did you go?" "It doesn't matter, I don't know," he said, the head spilling a drop. Then okay, it went, took a shower, and after reading a little I realized what it was. That until he returns. Sam went to bed because tomorrow is his birthday. 800 I woke up again from the smell of delicious food. I thought, Nara, you got up, what did you notice? And more precisely, in bed. It means he either didn't wake up or hadn't come yet. I think the first thing the red-eyed one said. Finally tired, getting dressed, went down. Itachi Fugaku's nipples were sitting at the table. Amikoto was doing something forbidden. It seems they forgot that it's my birthday. Repisen, after eating I went for a walk while I'm still golden china. He refused. I don't know why. Naruto went for a walk while Nax on the troika. He saw a familiar face racing on. Here is the medic. Exactly today, mom, I completely forgot to donor. It's a hose. What is he thinking? Went far away. We are not even friends. Everyone greeted him, wished him a long life, and behind him it was you. The pickled ones tried to scream as much as possible in the crowd, but according to Murphy's Law he noticed me out of the corner of his eye. And the one who left said, "Naruto." "Yes," said Naruto, stretching out the answer. "Happy birthday. Since you are the youngest, I decided to give you this. You will be a strong shinobi in the future. Now you are at the level of the average Johnny Dam," said Seed, dear head of the village, with his signature smile. Everyone was surprised that the people will cool you down, and that Minato understood what she did. Read the back of the head of the group smiled. He feels that he did something wrong to him, probably this too. He smiled with his lips and teeth, and in the eyes of Minata he saw that he was in the hall. But no, they moved away. Exactly, that said, "Past the jackpot, they're not now." Well said. "Eat, let's go on," said something. "Son, that squeak behind you," went on. After all, in his opinion, they took away his father, but it went out the window. Said, "Why? It was impossible to wait until you went to your home," said in a popular voice. "So what gift? Here we are, you read the box." Naruto took and opened it. There was new equipment, shinobium, shi and shurikens, fishing line, and so on. "Thank you very much," said Naruto, hugged the Hokage as a sign of gratitude. What hugged him back? "Okay, have a nice day." Naruto once again, "Happy birthday, I'll go," said me. "You left," and Naruto seal an accessory scroll that was attached to the leg. Having sealed, he went on to walk. Now on Naruto was dark blue shorts and black delivery connected by the coats of arms of the clan's dunks. Chiham on the legs were around the right leg were benti. No, he didn't hurt. He had such a style. Give him the style. Was cool to you, and his appearance, he was like that. He was going went while Nahe didn't even notice. When he was walking to Lashakajim, he climbed on his face for how to relax. Nartopanarium very lazy, but he has a goal over which he has The strength to move on this cheese protect what Mikoto Fuga Hokuramo Minato and Kushin maybe with whom over time realized that the nipples are not the same as he thought. At first she is quite cheerful kind sometimes cute people were lying did not think he was just resting but already in the evening he decided to buy Danga Itachi and go home but when he went down the rocks went down girls' screams from the side of the forests he quickly ran there sat down on the table tree and looked down. There were 3 boys or walls and 1 girl about 5 years old. So said the main thing on video mom no need. Screamed Hinata put his 2 cents to other. Boys well, why are you touching the daughter of the head of the clans of the south asked at the market. Going down the tree and this is something else I catch this is the same demon. Said the thinnest of them so I ask why are you touching her she did to you what we want and we touch it's not your business go yes until beat you up played enough. Said Naruto Tikin of the people quickly closed the distance and gave the one who said that he was ripping his ass with his knee in the jaw tired between them jumped up and would have given the sandals something to eat. Are you all right asked Naruto a good-natured paw and yes. Decides everyone stumbled and gave calm down already underdeveloped in the kingdom of Morpheans let's go. From here said. Yes she said having calmed down to the girls then we'll send the people took the princess of the Hyuga clan quarter his bodyguards only thanked him and there wasn't even a look of complete hatred it seems she really thanks okay I'll go while the Hinatas waved to the people and went home I forgot to buy okay I don't care he entered the quarter Uchiha went home there was light turned off looks like sleeping not really forgot my birthday Naruto blushed entered the house she hear bang firecrackers and suddenly the light and confetti balloons turned on sign. Happy birthday Narton happy birthday shouted everyone in the frame he thought for a second did not understand what was happening but when he understood he was probably growing he himself went to hug everyone there were few comic there. Not that the nipples Kushana exactly something suggested to arrange a gift I am an idle option and Naruto wore out. The wall which from the very beginning felt their chakras smiled thank you for everything said dug up beams and so far and for nothing answered Kushna Mikoto Itachi nipples Minatom and not birthday MFA we celebrated now the birthday of the most brilliant Shinobi Kanohen and more precisely was against that his status as the most brilliant was taken away on the contrary he was happy for his brother okay let's give gifts already said. Kushana the first was Takami Naruto sorry that I didn't come yesterday it's not you the blacksmith. Refused to create it's me under the pretext I'll put it in such a time I made it work all night next to it. Although as it does. I need the blade everything was black the handle was made of white gold in the style of diamonds. Usually a katana it also conducts so that it can be considered chakra conducting it stood a lot because of this. People was very glad to hug his not native blood folk spirit brother. Kara-san yes I will call Kara's excellent and now mine said Sasuke. I have no money but I draw well so forgive me if you don't like it people took the drawing he saw himself in a black t-shirt with a collar and dark blue shorts and in his eyes the Sharingan was burning this drawing was very cool the drawing was painted with watercolors and gouache and other ingredients in Sasuke yes you have talent nipples blushed and said. Thank you very much brother and abruptly closed her mouth I was surprised because she never called me brother you're welcome sister with a signature smile that is very similar to the smile of Mina there she noticed something and thought the following we told me. This technique and details of use these scrolls are almost impossible to get they can only be taken by students thank you very much said inspired Naruto. Long ago wanted to own Sharina to us and this is very taught under the pretext of still small then I looked at Minmon. Prompted say thank you that I came said arrogant Metman HK and bloody. Habanera looked at the elephant's son he only chuckled and turned away of course thank you. Protet's last word of the narrative said expressed all those passing by himself. Was surprised he deprived it was himself they continued the fun after an hour or an hour and a half did not finish and the Heikage family went to their place but Naruto became very and together. Good luck, let's go to bed. Itachi passed out right away because he hadn't slept for 24 hours. He pressed it for 10 minutes. Also left the kingdom of Morpheus on the 11th of October. The time is 10:43 from the bed. Lazily brunette got up. He went in one. Yes, these are our people. They're just. Yesterday he was so tired that he slept a lot, and this is still sleeping. So okay, this is that you definitely didn't drink just so much to argue. Okay, I went downstairs and there sat father. Good morning dad. Lazily stretched out. And where is Maman? Okushnan, did you also go tell her that this is a book? I'm in the bathroom corner, so clearly here is toothpaste. Yes, something, my head hurts now. Masty straight pills. And we stood under the shower for 7 minutes 10 and suddenly remembered that my weekend is over. Hockey Ocean was suddenly born. I put the toaster on for 4 minutes, so this got dressed equipment and put toast in his mouth. Book. He put Svetik and ran along the roofs of the head of the village. I came up, got the book, knocked on the door and opened. Red hair, handsome. And why not anyway? I'll get the mission a little later and it's okay, and if they need it they'll call me, decided Naruto. Yes, I don't mind. He woke up and went in. There were nipples, which are more mosquitoes, and here's the cop. Mom, I suddenly changed my mind but got carried away. Then you can't step. I went out the hall. And besides the mask, I had equipment from bombs coming in. I saw Mom, I'm drinking tea. I came up and said, here you are. You forgot. I handed over the book. Son, thank you. Smiled at the brunettes. Here's the bloody habanera. Handed over the mug. Thank you. I smiled. The children were watching this. Sees where the equipment from the Otbomb besides the nipple. Of course she became where he is enough of his father that I Otbomb us what to buy equipment. I grinned. I drank a mug of tea and said, thank you of course son for the tea, but it's time for me. Let's apply. She bowed. I put on a mask, left the house, rising on the roof, ran to the Restinsum Givda, knocked. Do you want? Opened the door and looked at the yellow lightning Konakin into the forest for the mission. I nodded. So here, messy ranks escort. Rafts, country waves. I took dad and read everything that was written. I said, okay, I take this mission. Smiled and said, here is the address of the hotel. Checked in. Carpenter will say how. The agent handed over the papers. I went out, headed to the hotel. I of course jumped on the roofs, then the establishment. I said hello. Here, handed over the paper. I'm so good. Room 27, second floor. Thank you. Coldly answered. Red-eyed. I got up, knocked. No one answered. I knocked again. Nothing. I could not stand it. Drank the door. This room with a bed, not a carpenter on it. Then sat down. Stank of burnouts. I went up and used the technique of water jets using very young cream. He jumped up, asked who. Laughed. I get ready. I accepted yours. Missions. We are going to the country. Wait 15 minutes. Naruto left the hotel. Decided to stretch. He began to stretch his muscles and finished in 10 minutes, and after 3 minutes he came out tightly, said, we are leaving now. Yes, my village needs help. You are protecting. He quickly began to fold the seals, said the name of the technique. That nod. Sleep. A fireball of 4 by 4 meters in size flew from the boy's mouth, and the place where these renegades were only ash remained. Let's go further, said Naruto. In an icy tone. Yes, said the carpenter. I stutter. Such a cold voice I have never heard before. I quickly need to go to the wave. Another 9 hours. After 7 hours the carpenter became asked for a rest. I said he is out of date, so he will die, and now your village needs help. Did not answer, breathing heavily. The carpenter then let's go, said in a cold voice. People there. They walked for 2 hours and reached the village. The carpenter went home. I followed him, and then I heard the sound of Lenka cutting wind, clearly the fault of Oka. Knocked the carpenter to the ground. A huge sword flies above us. I put up a barrier for the carpenter. Myself went out with the enemy one on one. A man landed on the sword. 20 to 30 years experiment. And who is this? Asked he. In Moscow. Lyson. This is your death, said calmly with himself. Hall. Well, since I'm going to die, can I find out your name? Asked cold Narden. Yakoyukam, answered the girls. Clear. Naruto folded the seal of the game and said to her, more Nadatsum. Behind Naruto 4 clones appeared. He went in such for he sent on what, and he himself ran to for a riot. Got tied up, I'm afraid, into Tatsu, where Zabuza safely humiliated. The fox people retreated in jumps, folded the seal and said, Katan Gakut. Sleep from The boy's mouth flew a huge Sharnian for the ball hold in your hands good smell began to say. Seal said all this he fuss sleep from the mouth of the reserve flew a huge water dragon and for a collision in this fire fog formed. 3 of them got into it, one shoulder one leg, and then divorced. I began to understand that I can lose. A fat low ugly man with black balls appeared. Again you can't cope, GTA would have vouched for them, he said, and 100 to 150 bandits ran at them. Naruto turned off the tailed Shingon mode. Asked to help, this fat pig interfered with my buoy, son, I cope said, forgot people decided not to interfere, I started massacre, forgot started to cut, killed at once about 30 bandits, he walked away, oh what finished off the clones, but one of the clones still managed to break, I thought, beautifully with a mask. Naruto to himself, cutting of the west flies into these pine-like, especially for quickly began to accelerate chakra under the body, oh what to protect for the booze, suddenly forgot, said Lisa. Lives in her village in rank, when you say we will survive. Turned them off about whom, and the moment when to put on her ran up the robber with a sword in his hands, how they managed to dodge, I waited until she died, but not even after that you in front of Haku and became a brunette, took the sword, he pushed away the offenders, I heard. You forgot, but I decided that you will survive, said the boy Masquerie himself, so the robbers became a bunch. It would be better if it was a technique of mass destruction, Naruto said exactly, and began to fold seals. This Naruto rushed a sea of fire, he began to kill himself without exception. She had created an ice dome, all the robbers died. Leonardo was breathing heavily, he had a little chakra left, where a little chakra woke up in the subconscious began to rapidly restore. He himself cancelled the ice domes. They looked at the fields, there was a lot of plan, that's all. And now Naruto looked at the smell, namely that she will get. I want to become a shinobika on him, sharply said the red-eyed. They whispered about something and asked, why should we do this? I know that you are tired of the life of renegades. I want to survive as everyone was happy. I think you deserve it because you wanted to sacrifice your life for her, for the base of them, as you thought. Agreed. They returned to sleep. After all, they were very exhausted. In the morning, 9:43, the brunette opened his eyes and, realizing that about the track quite a lot, having dressed, went down to the kitchen. Was I know him for sure? Well, as I understood, I didn't ask, I simply didn't care. Where's Abuza Hakam? Coldly asked I. They on the bridge, said the woman. Okay, thank you. I went home, went to the bridge, they were laughing. I was. What are you doing? He asked the approaching brunette. Nothing, cheerfully answered Hakan. It seems the bridge was finished. He stop, I mean finished for this. For what week? You about 3 weeks, he answered. They God, thought Naruto. Then we're moving out. They answered us. What smell, deputy? They moved out. When the boar asked how people leave without food and water, he prints this with Svetak, and having eaten and drunk, they were already on the way for ordinary walking distance of the country. Waves Kanahina, 9 hours to the upper paths, 2 hours to the gates to the village. 3 people were approaching for belly people. They entered the village, did not go around like an ocean. A hell of a mission. Registration at the top. When they entered the office, how exactly that? Immediately prepared for battle. But that did not follow. What do you need? Asked Yellow Lightning Kanahin, as well as myself. I know what they thought. She know it is on this village. Calm down. Dug up an ocean, but that's true, but I realized that they have much more than just a killer. I decided to settle here. I hope you don't mind here for us. That's why I said, although I after all by chakra it was clear that Naruto was not a person. Approached. Come tomorrow to me for the base hack. By tomorrow they will prepare the documents. I went, said Naruto. Disappeared. Naruto appeared in the bunker. Went Kinova-san. Hello here. Stretched out people. If he is good, well done. Here is the height of thousands. Thank you. I went, said Naruto. So 3 years passed here, and in the morning people are no longer visible. That the one who turned off the alarm clock turned it off again. During this time he managed to prove to all the villages that they are a demon dies and a devoted shinobika. On Heijai Kuram he became Captain Mango and sent all as the youngest member and also captain from Bon. Naruto got tired of these all. He completed more than 300 messings, 170 Mr. NGS, more than 70 missions of rank from please. When he became Captain Mango he was called to carry out a mission with rank, and since people became Captain Manda 6 months ago, then did not have time to normally carry out CIS missions. He completed them in general. Somewhere 6 people decided to quit and become a simple Johnny on. During these 3 years people this became twice as strong, and he could in 4 or even 5 if he had time for training. During This time he studied the poems of fire explosion of a dancing flame song of dragons great fire downpour fire stream. Fire hurricane fire breath water element double eastern pistol. Water shuriken sky cloak burst wave water pistol wind element. Air push air fields air storm roaring hurricane lightning. Element double lightning lightning horizontal oppression strike lightning purple lightning Taijan. Has fully studied the technique of the flying god. A gamer, but the perfection of the Rasengan, having previously learned it. Is grown-ups, but it consumes a lot of chakras and hurts your hands. So. You can't use it at full strength yet. He read that there is a hermit mode and would like to study it. It strengthens the body. He breathes. Physical parameters improve with non-childhood. So he stands in front of the door as an ocean of people knocked and heard. Without thinking twice. Nardi entered and said hello. Hello, do you need something? We want to quit and become an ordinary Johnny. And as it was, Shirashina, after all, Naruto is one of the strongest villages. He became the hope of the Konoha geniuses. Minato has not yet decided. Tell Naruto who his parents but promised himself that he would tell everything when he would. So are you sure? Yes, answered briefly red-eyed. Okay, then you understood the last mission in the role of Ambum faster. Naruto waved. So that they would give him a folder with specs to everyone. Minato stretched out his ass. Most mission now. Naruto didn't bother. I had shorts. Dark blue like the old ones but only a novel and a black sweatshirt wear on the back. The coat of arms of the Uchiha clan is more visible his ocean and on the face there was a mask in the form of a flight so it looks like I will have to enter the academy exactly so you must figure out the rat the main thing. You can't attract attention be like a shadow Nathan told me clear. Okay but I won't be a shadow look at me you face indifference although under the mask it was not visible because Naruto cannot perform all these he went to train because there are still 2 months before the academy he saw someone who trains a fireball and he got a very small ball the size of a fist. I decided to help sister after all. He came up and asked does not get it himself as you see since you get the format it means just not enough strength. Wow sadly. Sister answered brunette no problem said Naruto and came up he took concluded nipples. Said and now try nipples began to fold seals said Katana. Hopes he from the girl's mouth flew a huge ball of fire 2 by 2 meters. The girl's eyes shone. Thank you about the tag she thanked. I just smiled sweetly. If something does not work out or someone will offend just tell me I said in a confident voice. The girl blushed like a complete stranger. Yes just like a brother. Okay by Sasuke. And finally. Why did she become red? I decided to raise my deer at the training ground 7 there was a tall boy with black as if look hair and as if blood eyes. He stood like that for about 5 minutes and began to fold seals. Disappeared in a haze. He appeared in some forest of people. Began to look around and find the exit. Yes it was a technique of calls here. Naruto sees a bright light and goes to him. There became a lot of forests. Cole looks like your relative. I really people you came here 3 months ago and you in order to get chakram. Can I be offended? Answered Nine-Tailed. Yes don't be offended too. I just don't have much time. Okay I'm persuading you so that they teach you the hermit mode. Yeah hello. Man there haven't been any like that for a long time. Answered apparently King Borisov. I wanted to conclude a contract with you. We are not against but this is not only then I came. I'm right exactly. I would like to be taught the mode. By the way what is your name? You answered Alexander the First. Myself. Where will we study? Over there. They went started training. We're in the hermit mode so 2 months past people we are improving it. Turned out the mode leaves a Vasen and when using the sanding Ruta orange pigmentation appears around the eye and the eyes from red turn into Karemian and also appears ears like a beehive itself. It's a pity the tail does not appear itself. People already with a signed contract and a pure smile after all finally could have such a good rest and also a bird. I came at night sick so soft that she hugged her. She fell asleep and was not against. Here I am. Standing on the same bunk as 2 months ago, I went to the canoe, looked around. It seems today is the entrance to the academy. Everyone smiled and waved to me. I am also a Mahalama. I approached the academy just. There spoke his speech. Yellow lightning. Konohan lives in all will of fire. Let's start to fall asleep next to me, decided one boy. I liked him right away because well slope on Ram and this clan is restrained. Geniaf and Hokage just finished his speech as Nara and I are almost in class. I got into the clan class. There were many familiar faces there. Kiba, Min, Mahina, Tashina, Sasuke, and next to her Sedan, but suddenly next to her Selman. He looked at me and stuck out his tongue. I said, fate helps the worthy, and sat down on the free seat. Your teachers. I showed all. He turned 13. He became very handsome. Girls detained when they saw Uchiha. He of course looked at me too, half including with whom, but I was even surprised. He said, hello students, I am your teacher Uchiha. This is what for the next 4 years I will be your teacher. Tell me a little about yourself. I love my family. I have a brother and sister. He looked at us in turn, smiled. Also my dream is very worth strategists in Konohan. I do not like when Naruto cannot wake up in the morning, and when I shook Itachi I laughed how the whole class was respected. And now I will seat you in your places as I want it turned out, so that if near the pacifier and Shikamaru he Amin, we are the most native girl in the class, and the dog lover Kabai. I whispered to him, fate helps the worthy. I smiled. He looked at me angrily but turned away because Sasuke is the most beautiful in the class, and in general they respected in the class, no worse than the sage of the 6 paths, but she was so beautiful that they trusted me there, and to me what I don't care. We sat the whole term. We talk after all the whole theory of the academy. We are zeros. We got to know each other better. He turned out to be the laziest person in another way. You just can't recognize him. I haven't found the rat yet, but I also went home with Skitachi. They ask something like, is he going to work? You came in yourself to you. Yes, I hesitated to that place clear. But we almost reached the house and I'm so tired. I've been training fireballs all these days. But also how a Speakian 3 by 3 meters, said Nipples bursting. Clever girls, this poison my sister expected. Stroking her on the head, said she blushed. This then you too? It seems he left himself. Bom, why did you ask? I asked the senior teacher when I found out something you don't want to be anymore. I heard about the last missions, decided to help you out. Clear, thank you. You're welcome brother. Pat me on the head, said the senior. Chakon. Here we returned home. Went in the morning. 7.00 So bad. Thought about myself. Naruto it was a tall brunette with bloody eyes and beautiful hair, and he was born, but it seems he was not destined to find 2 identical socks. He got angry and created 3 clones, and together they began to rummage through things. After 7 minutes 12 seconds one of the clones pumped. I finally found in an exhausted voice, said to the original, he really did not say hello. And suddenly Naruto felt a cold reason, because he definitely had a source of liquid. Naruto immediately turned and looked at this staff. It turned out to be everyone's favorite cat. She smiled, but not a feeling of joy or care from her emanated, only a terrible aura. I got up, asked Mom what happened to Fear. Nothing except that you are late. Bold smile on liquid aura, said. The woman understood, cut off eye, and ran to the bathroom to wash myself. That's good from Mekit. Stopped going. Terrible damage. Naruto quickly began to wash herself and at the same time folded the seals of cloning, an unusual clone of lightning. He improved it so much that it does not usually disappear with a blow, and when he appears he ordered him to go to the academy and he himself left to eat. He ate at the speed of light. He would have been a little envious. Ate everything in 2 minutes. He headed to the academy. He understood that he had 3 minutes and that he did not have time, because now the time was 7:27. The academy starts at 7:30. He decided, but on the way he crossed his index middle finger cross in both hands, and a clone appeared who had the strength to meditate. After 10 seconds, ears on his head and orange pigmentation around his eye. Naruto felt that the clone had gained enough sanchuk and developed it. He had appeared all the same as Okalanon, and the eyes of course became Karimian. He ran with triple force as They say yellow lightning would have been jealous he forgot yesterday leave the seal of the thunder god on the table the seal of the thunder god nipples and suddenly. Naruto disappears in the thunder of a flash he had been perfecting it for a long time so that even the sound did not appear but it was more spectacular Naruto thought. He appeared in the classroom right in front of the nipple and why did the last one blush finally ran up. Naruto thought everyone was surprised by his ear pigmentation people or that he lived the seal of a sheep and everything disappeared brother managed so I was surprised when she left at 6:57 she was still sleeping as you can see he answered smiling sweetly from which almost all the girls in the class looking at him blushed the bell rang he came into the class this is what he smiled at all the students and began his lecture and Naruto could not do anything he felt bad as if someone had poisoned him with Nurum so it is today here it is. Purely home or teleport Scott with Naruto's head thought this voice was very cute and that's why he smiled so all the lessons went by since the practice will start only in 2 years you can only sleep because in theory he was very good but he said it purely with whom. Brother sister I was poisoned today I don't know how and why it doesn't get easier for us. Chakra's faces I'm actually dying said sadness Naruto. What Naruto asked taught me a week ago when he had not yet left the house himself Danzo offered me to become a member of Kernan BOM did not refuse he threatened that he would kill you. Answered with anger and Takon it means they will come yes most likely what are you happy about answered at the same time and asked the eldest Chihan I will kill them nipples let him go home. We will smash them with you know the girl had an adventure. Sasuke's eyes became empty and she silently headed home why asked the brunette. Yes I am security he answered red-eyed okay he went to the training ground. There no one will bother us said this is who's ran away to the side of the training ground it was just standing waiting until something was running Otacha was the seal of God Thunder so Naruto did not bother and now 3 minutes have passed eyes not on the stars and Naruto teleports a bunch she was lying under the house and waiting until they came it was the beginning for us there were almost no stars it was very beautiful and then 18 people came out to the clearing and Shinshin 17 Shinny Root and himself. So it means you are not dead yet we will fix it having said you said this how the fight began people since he was poisoned could only fight with half and so he alone would blush all who are here people offend the first object on the stomach but this is a clone from behind people. A fireball is flying but it didn't even dodge didn't move when suddenly he Naruto grows ears pigmentation appears around the eyes and Naruto just threw the ball van bomb flies and gives him such a juicy even that's what died here then he looked at the remaining 8 they ran together to Naruto picked up the katana which he unsealed and ran to us roots the mess began while he was flying fought. Retreated and folded seals with one hand and lowered fireballs then water. Dragons so after 10 minutes of the battle only 3 died album and Naruto realized that they could lose he ran to this slapped the shoulder of the front man and himself. Biting off a finger until it bled with great speed began to fold the seal and putting his hand on the ground where the seals were formed from this seal he came out in a haze and said. You can kill them. You didn't understand anything but also ran to draw when one of them tried to cut off the head with his face in Akazasa. Would simply melt were in shock and began to use VDM techniques realizing that at close range they had nothing to catch quickly stood in the press they began to release large streams of water. On the retalists walked bent and then places of rice people appear there I freeze the water and ran to the gunban and after him and the forest the battle began although some kind of battle is just humiliation album dug up and unnecessary such he would send water elemental techniques. Naruto froze them they could not attack frontally Alice seems to have been Pokrov. From the fire and so little by little he would have ended the chakras of the people simply easily interrupted them. And this is what just on the mind killed his part now there is a useless selection let any 7 we will do everything said Donzan self-confidence from him. So and it blew I even tensed up but suddenly he began to fold seals and said Makaten KDKVN and suddenly a whole clearing of huge Flowers began to appear that emitted gas. I immediately understood that this was from the right and began to run away, but holding my breath. This is not an easy task. We got out and looked at Donzum. Here was angry because this technique took 60% of all his chakra. The fight began to become a father. He was not bad, but still 2 against 1 is not an option for the loser. In the number, since he began to fold seals and said Makatayan Sasha Kennedy. Sharp wooden sticks began to fly out of Donzu's hands. One of them missed me and flew into the tree. This chapter stuck and behind it from the roots. What are you, Rosen? They both thought we can't let them get to us. Narada Itachi began to dodge himself not to release fireballs at the enemy, and suddenly Naruto did not notice one needle that pierced the heart. Otachi. Naruto caught his breath and not began to breathe faster. Naruto's Sharingan suddenly activated. Patterns swirled. And what is this? Also only Sharingan was already activated. Friend people, this began to fold into seals and said the technique of Ash rebirth of the phoenix, and Naruto disappeared into Peeper appeared next to him, who was already crying, and when he saw Naruto next to him safe and sound, then hugged him. Naruto himself did not believe that he survived. He again began to fold seals and said the technique of Ash fire of the phoenix. From Naruto's mouth flew a huge cloud of flame that hit Dan for his eye to ashes. This is my gift to you, the voice said in the head. This is Kekijin Kaipi plan, Godfather, so it means you are associated as a Cresp plan. Wow. Everything is fine with you? Asked the elder, having come to his senses. Agam, I even feel my body is much better for you, almost immortality. If you use it, you will never lose battles from old age. That's what you can die if you don't do it in time. Phoenix rebirth. I myself, after all. Why punch my stomach? What are you talking about? Hysterical. This, then trust me confidently, said Naruto. Okay, said the dacha. Took Kota, but with a trembling hand punched the boy's stomach, and on the contrary small pieces of ash began to gather together, and the sword slowly fell belly, and after 15 seconds even a date remained from the blow. Regeneration. And aren't you in a hurry to go home? As opposite them they saw Fu. How is he a father? Where are you? Asked. My told me everything, Sasuke, he said a little excitedly. Fugaken with us. Everything is fine. In short, he about what is everything? So Itachi began the story. And now I own Kekijin Camp. Plum clearly answered briefly. Fu, what? Started to think you can't show this Genkai you will use as a weapon. Yes, I understand. Okay, probably you are outdated. Go home and I will report how you eat there. Froze. Nardi. Itachi entered the house where they were waiting. Nipples with sense. They were glad to go to the brothers to adopt whole. He what? How did it all go? You killed him? Looked Makuta confidently to the answer I will give, because if I hadn't killed he would not have let them go. Yes, we will remove him, confidently answered the brothers. Yasnin, good that you are okay. The woman smiled. Okay mom, we are going to sleep. Very tired, said 2 brothers when they entered the room. They asked from each other, do you feel it too? They both activated the Sharingan, directed more than into the eyes. Swirled madly in the whirlpool. There was a 3-pointed, twisted shuriken, and I had a view of a vector image there like Sasuke. While we realized that we can become stronger if we transplant eyes to each other, but for this we need to be blood relatives. Then tomorrow we'll go check, said Red-Eyed Fox. Beautiful eyes, joked I, and you are more beautiful, he said. This is still. Hold out the mirror. And really smiling, said I. Okay, it's time to sleep. My legs can't hold me anymore, said, and you Chadi in your pajamas went to bed, and Naruto did not undress and immediately went to bed in his clothes. 947 in the morning. A brunette with disheveled hair gets out of bed and went to the bathroom without even cleaning the bathroom. Brushed his teeth. Stood under an ice-cold shower. What happened? Naruto in shock. I don't feel the cold, shouted Naruto. Came running to the sound. This is an hour. With whom? What? Where? Enemies? Asked Red-Eyed Tak. Hello, sorry, there are no enemies. It turns out I don't feel the cold anymore. People blushed when I realized that there are naked, said Naruto. I'm closing my own proudly. This is a cherry. Quietly giggled completely. Let's send to eat. Ready nipples. This is what was given from the bathroom. Naruto came out from under the shower, got dressed a little, thought, are there weights here or not? He decided not to put on And today rest by the way protects he your whole body became as if under Sancha blood. More precisely you are now 39 times stronger than your initial physical strength you are. Actually a Superman, said the fox inside him. Yes, asked Naruto, did not believe. Yes, and now your body can withstand temperatures of plus 100 degrees and cold. Minus 200. Yes, I am some kind of Superman, laughed Naruto. Actually that's right, smiled. At Kiba inside him people and left the bathroom, went to the table. There sat the family of the head of the great Uchiha clan. Naruto sat down next to him and said after about 20 minutes left the house for a walk. Today he decided not to go to the academy. Walking around the village he decided why not. Train today, some election day, thought Naruto. He went out to Polygon 7. There was a turd which brother was working off his cheating. He saw people and smiling with his eye waved to him. As he does that, thought Naruto, he just smiled. Went further, approaching the mannequin he entered the subconscious calm. Yes, grids with the techniques of Kikienko and Ash. Here is a sheet stretched out to Svetka straight. Are you kidding yourself? Bewilderment, asked Naruto. These are all the techniques. The plan is somewhere 72 techniques. Clear eye. We'll do it again. My so the world sat in the subconscious, analyzes the techniques for 15 hours. As he was still worried about Naruto, he became motionless for more than 15 minutes and decided to come up and ask everything. I was remembered by the seal and aspects of the 6 techniques. The plan you go to take the eyes and looked at the nearest mask of indifference with you. Everything is fine. You did not move more than 15 minutes with me. Everything is fine, said Naruto in an icy voice and stood up. He pulled himself up to the right and began to repeat the seal. Strange, he thought. Like Ash and Naruto repeated all the seals. He like Isha turned around. What will happen to the polygon? Like behind him he heard the name of the technique. The element of Ash Fire Phoenix shouted for the cover behind his back. He felt everything is just huge heat. As Asha quickly turned around he took out the kunai. As he looked at Naruto he put the kunai away. The people heard the seals used the technique. This technique just burned the half leaf and a fire started. Naruto again began to fold the seals. He said sovereignty conveys a dream, and a huge dragon flew and extinguished the entire fire. How shocked he was from such techniques from an 8-year-old boy. Let her captain Bon, how did he ask? Are you all right? The techniques are very chakra consuming. Yes, everything is fine with me, he once told the blonde. Well, you spent 30% of your chakras on this technique. It is stronger than the great fire destruction. Forgot to say, after receiving the body with Ash, your cheek reserve doubled your current reserve. Like a strong Johnny said, cool to us, joyful. He just walked around the village. He heard that the family name today arrived in Kanashka. Right, but suddenly he felt two Chagacha right. He would not have paid attention, but one of the foci belonged to Haken. He quickly climbed the tree and jumped in their direction. He was previously with Arc Ron. He looked down. Here stood Haka and a guy who seemed to be the same age. He was saying something, but Naruto did not hear. Sat down in the lotus position and turned on the reserve fox hermit. Otherwise listen. I love you. I fell in love with you at first sight, and now you do not leave my head, said boy. Gold they cut. It seems we will study a rich family. Expensive clothes. News. The appearance of the daimyo of his family in Konohan, and this person had not been to Canada before this. Naruto thought. What is your name? Asked. How is he rated? Clear. Do you want to become your girlfriend? Asked. Okay. Opening. He liked what kind of guy there was. I'm taking. Nardi lost control of himself and the fox's chakra burst out. It was so ominous that all of Konoha felt it, and the Hokage had already sent a squad to detain the nine-tailed. Naruto's eyes turned from full of love into eyes of hatred and despair. Hako noticed Naruto and shouted, this is not what you think. But Naruto, I didn't even listen. He abruptly pushed off the branch of a tree so hard that he broke it and ran wherever his eyes looked, and so people offended for more than 8 hours, simply destroying everything that was possible. They destroyed more than 7 hectares of trees. Naruto calmed down closer to night and began to cry. He loved her from the very beginning, showed signs of attention for 3 years, made her an impregnable. Very unfair, but it was just lying there for minutes. Felt the chakra that was coming to his side. He didn't even pay attention. To who it was he stopped crying, only emptiness appeared in his eyes, the one from the trees jumped off with a Hakam. I'm already returning to the Anak, said Naruto. Naruto passed by with an indifferent voice. And didn't even look at her. There were tears in her eyes too, which were flowing non-stop. He was Naruto and she also really liked him, but she couldn't tell him this. She started crying. The people turned around and were surprised. Why are you crying? Stupid mission, why? Don't I understand? And he suddenly jumped off the ground and flew at Naruto. He didn't even have time to react. He thought that it was his end, as his lips were surprised and said, I've always loved you. She couldn't tell you there. She cried on her chest, you loved me, the brunette stuttered, and she screamed with food. She stopped crying, you poured out your mouth, only what? He was shocked by such a statement. Naruto asked how you would become my girlfriend. He understood that she actually had a boyfriend. I just had too much for you, and he thought that she would answer, no, but Hakan. Nardi answered briefly, only smiling, and began to melt in her arms. They stood like that for another 20 minutes. Do you really love me? Yes, you, the little fox. Inside can't feel the truth, a lie, she tells the truth. Yes, father, the people smiled again, and with all his love he kissed the girl on the lips. She reciprocated. They both just walked the weight by the hands, and so that they were somewhere 40 kilometers from home. Never understood that he wanted to go home faster. At Stolian, Naruto turns on the mode and holding in his arms ran home. 2 hours later Naruto there Aku got to Kanohiam. They are together, went to the hotel, took the numbers. Of course the hotel administrator refused to give them out, although she understood that she was going against the most brilliant ice demon in Kanohian, and here Naruto uses Romeo's kick and the administrator falls to his knees. Give me the numbers, otherwise pennies on yourself, said Naruto ominously. Nah, heck, of course he didn't use such, but that's how they got a luxury room. They were lying in bed, both went to the shower on the body pajamas. What kind of mission is this? Mission saved, protect, need names. I needed to become his girlfriend. Said then I will protect him. And how much do you need him? __. To save, not tellin', maybe. Then together we will protect him. I don't think that he will be jealous of me to you, and do you think he can do something to me? Amber pot of purification, they said, with his stomach come to him and take, but it came to him and touched the pot, turned into a purple chakram, and his eyes absorbed it. Naruto's Sharingan suddenly turned on about this Mangekin, and suddenly Naruto's eyes hurt, like from them came a light smoke, and after 5 minutes the pain in the eyes stopped and the people opened them. They didn't hurt anymore. He went to the river, looked at his reflection in Naruto's eyes, dust eyes with waves like squads on the water, and the color of the eye was purple. What is this? Naruto asked his brother. This Rinnegan. These eyes owned my father is the strongest to work in the world after Legus. These are the eyes that were in the scroll. Yes, these are the eyes of the sage of the 6 paths. It means in me mixed. From the very beginning was Riinka. He undressed, dressed, run, and he did not captivate next to hugging her, and fell asleep. 9:00 a.m. he lazily opened his eyes, looked at her, his love. She quietly snored. It seems because of the mission for a long time did not sleep normally. He gently kissed her, pulled out of the kingdom of Morpheus. Nara, something happened? No, but we get used to protect him, said Brand, getting dressed, and he do not wait from no, said red-eyed. Entering, __. Cloud said as she became and began to dress. Naruto, get out of the shower. Saw Haku standard clothes, was with a mask on the face. I decided, smiled, and heard Seal's games, and on me took off hanky, usually clothes, and there was a glow of the elite. They climbed onto the roof of the hotel and ran home along the roofs. The weather was just gorgeous, not cold, not hot, clear and blue sky. We ran home. Some document. Sunpo apparently not yet woke up. Smiled and turned his eyes to me. His eyes became round like 2 plates, and Heka quietly giggled to the lady, quickly opened the door and let the defenders through. Only for such. Hello, he said, excited. Domain people also became famous throughout the land of fire. I not Only as soon as the most brilliant people already 3 times spasm when 2 swordsmen attacked him fog. Joe Zabuvaizana let him literally read people there and Naruto didn't care. It was one of the SS rank missions but it was boring people passed inside. The building it was some kind of mansion many rooms hall kitchen 20 by 20 meters people never took off with a smear while she took off hers with a smear people they were released to the sofa and began to talk about something and then after 15 minutes the reserve comes down he saw Hack and ran to her screaming he hugged her wanted to kiss. Raisin looked with a crooked look and said do you know who my father is? He asked arrogantly you asked what kind of fool would go against the timer yes. I know calmly answered Naruto my father stop what? Raisin was in shock he is your father give Madon to the cats and mother is one of the best crap senjutsu at home calmly answered Alice. You are stupid since you know why you don't bow didn't understand Reziana we confirm your father is a good guy at 30 he has achieved such heights I respect him from such words Dan broke into a smile. But you haven't yet deserved for me to bow to him like you coldly answered with a brat we are of this age with whom I didn't fully mean. Age you entered into battle with elite criminals renegades or at least would be. One-on-one against Johnny us do you have experience fighting do you know many techniques what is your element Naruto began to literally humiliate life began to boil from these questions Naruto understood that he had no experience in fighting and he did not fight against renegades he does not have many techniques in his arsenal and do not even know the element if not then do not even try to touch her said dug up with a devilish voice that everyone present simply fell on their butts. Except for the hawk she was already used to his breakdowns and no wanted to seem cool. RYZ let's go out alone I'll show you your place said Naruto and went for the rating which was already in the garden they went out opposite each other and were ready how to tell this to you Raisin completely concentrated everyone took out kunai and Naruto just stood with his hands in his pockets at the beginning he said Dana stepped away so as not to interfere 3 minutes ago acquired please don't kill him can you just knock him out said Dana or rather do not believe at all asked the brunette you are an elite album not even brilliantly confirmed this answered red-eyed went to the garden after the command rating ran to the people there Naruto dodged but he couldn't even call it near the house he just moved a little either his body or his head didn't hit the mediocrity thought the people and moved behind the enemy's back and knocked out well. He exhaled with relief that his son was not killed. My duties we have to protect him with cattle for exactly a week that from this day. We will be next to your family 24/7 said Abscess in a calm tone. This could not but please so 3 days passed. Just a man. Got to you do you need something asked a woman who smiled kindly my name is Azumakina Saab you can just Naruto my brother and I would like to be checked. Us with my desktop brother for compatibility blood removing the mask is it true that it is convenient ears asked the brunette. Woman gasped because she did not expect such a father you are a cold person whom I met I do not think that you are compatible blood since you are named brothers and not relatives come on I checked the woman said in bewilderment thank you. Grandma smiled. Aunt asked Naruto yes come on Aunt answered father it is necessary smiling and they having understood the situation began to laugh one day later to the mansion give me 2 guys approached one was in clothes and the other says equipment and read and seeing them sharpened in the laboratory and entering on this removed with a smear and Itachi followed the example of Bro Tsunade both sat in chairs I took from each 30 milliliters of blood 15 minutes passed. The price tossed a piece of paper said I myself did not read just pray that you have relatives blood Nardi Itachi took a piece of paper and went through the content there. Eyes lit up as it turned out that they are blood relatives glow you can transplant each other's eyes said from here well answered Senya taught to choose a beard that formed and Naruto went out and said goodbye this then went further to follow the rating. 8 o'clock in the morning became from the bed trudged to __. Today was the last day of tracking. Zarazan Naruto brushed his teeth went to the kitchen put the kettle on started to cook scrambled eggs. Pouring oil into the frying pan, he broke 2 eggs and salted, closing the lid, sat down on a chair. I entered the subconscious. Hello, thunder, said joyful people there. Hello, and what is so joyful, asked Kebe on Yokon, the last day of protection of a spoiled boy. He answered, red-eyed, quietly said congratulations, and went to sleep again. What is wrong with him? Naruto thought, but did not attach any importance to it. Went out with the subconscious. The door of the Narts knocked. He opened. I saw a Harkam. He smiled as and took off the mask and smiling went inside. They sat down, just finished cooking the scrambled eggs, cut boiled. Naruto sat down at the table, treated to cookies and tea, and he poured himself some tea, put scrambled eggs on his plate, and everyone at the table together. They said this like this, Mason, and began the meal. The last day of our joint defense. Not cunningly asked them about whom. Yes, but this is not the end. I want to spend as much time with you as possible. Showing on the head. Hako, said Naruto as she thought, and snapping her fingers said, he will betray Allah. Who, said Naruto when she ate. Fool, said Hakan, you can't speak with your mouth full. How much I told you about this. Pretending to be offended, said Head. For don't be offended, said people, so stroke her head. I slowly took her chin and pulled it sharply towards me. He kissed Hakan. She reciprocated. 15 minutes later, Naruto, they were standing at the exit, opening the doors. They went outside. Naruto locked the door. They ran across the roofs. Naruto wanted to give a gift, this then giving him the eyes that to get eternal Anjeki Sharingan. We'll stop this, agreed yesterday, but then the question arose, what does Furnigan Itachi? Of course his brother, but he will not be able to reveal the full potential of Rinnegan because he is not the original owner. Naruto found a solution. He actually gives Rinnegan, but the Mad Wings Nogano will seal himself satiated, share half of the chakra of the eye and adjust the eye so that it can produce chakra wine Ganam. This method he found in one of the scrolls of the Celestial. He called this door exactly that way because all the knowledge of the world is actually stored there. People, their window got to the mansion. Galloping, knocked on the door. No one answered. They felt something was wrong. He, Naruto, quickly began to scan the whole of Konoha in search of having his family, but no, they were not there. Naruto thought that the lady left abruptly, teleported like me. Minato herself. Semadami left. Kanekam sharply asked. Appeared. Probably it's something mixed up it and then they leave, said Minota smiling. Naruto risk teleported as he and told what was and where they could be, asked the girl, but Naruto did not hear as and sat in the gilding himself, took the check. His brothers entered the mode of the nine-tailed demon of ash and began to scan so that the nearest fly 30 kilometers from Konoha will not pass the people. Almost spent chakra but felt their. Naruto jumped up on the ground and as he took in his arms and ran the southwestern part of the channel. They were 10 kilometers from Konoha, considering that the people ran away at speed sounds. Then after 2 minutes they were in place. They entered the caves and saw 3 tied people. It was given Ryzen and the price there. They mumbled something from behind a rag with their mouths. Okay, began to cry and looked away. Naruto turned sharply, but it was too late as they had already grabbed and held him as if he was living. Gordon, we will have fun, said the most muscular of them. People, these tables made me angry, but I could not act. Send what? After all, the day before the life of his love. He began to slowly take off the kimono that was on the hack. Naruto growled, don't you dare, quietly, fox cub. Wrong movements and the end, said the smiling robber. People, I wanted to take a step as he slightly pressed on the throat hack and finished a small construction site. Went to the blood. He, Naruto, all life flew before his eyes. He, how they spent 3 years, how she confessed to him, how they went on a date together, how he promised to go on a date there again. He, Naruto, on a subconscious level. Rinnegan was activated. Naruto stretched out his hand forward, did not say more. This is not well. The robber's term flew into Naruto's hands. Having flown in, the people looked at 3 people in disheveled clothes. Lengon said the name of the technique. He will not give up. Naruto's blood flowed. The people lowered their heads in pain, and fire and Matarosan appeared on the robbers, which did not extinguish at all, but this said, did I show them the side of the milking family? Haka ran to the side, the timer untied. Their price, then quickly ran to Naruto and began to treat his eyes. The whole day passed. Naruto Itachi planted eyes, if necessary, strictly forbade. Removing the bandages, the lady's family left for her capital, and Naruto Itachi in the genre, incomplete. Darkness, the people helped Hakam, and this is an hour with whom, and 4 days later, Naruto Itachi removed the bandages and looked at each other. The people smiled and said, "Congratulations, Father, on acquiring eyes for the gods." This is not yet understood, as Narita held out a mirror and he looked at himself. There were Nagano. This is not yet understood, where the people smiled and said, "This is my gift to you, brother, thank you for being there." Challenge said, "Take thank you very much," and hugged Naruto. Naruto folded the seal of the tiger's printed chakra or Naganam and he also woke up. They went home. So passed the Tregu in the house. Hyde gets up. Brunettes from 11 with red eyes. Narita entered the bathroom and began the procedure. Having finished, he came out. During this time the people became stronger in the air conditioner. He studied the type of use of the medical unit or body flicker well, and of course for using this stereoner you studied the technique of body flicker. He perfectly mastered the gents, improved the Thais and also on Zakul pairs of techniques. Rangal. Here Naruto comes out of the bathroom and they see Haku, who has already woken up. 3 years she moved to him. Naruto sat down at the table and the girl began to cook. Naruto took out a book. I read. After the 5th 7 minutes the hut prepared rice filled with broth and they began the meal. She waited. Found, it seems to me this is your longest mission in the role of captain. Laughed, but I already a year ago. And went. As for missions, Naruto blushed a little and Dove went to get ready. He now wants Naruto 162 centimeters, one of the Tancher Street's coats of arms of Klanazu. Makiachi. Him dark blue shorts on his face, wears a mask on half his face like Kakasham. He has become even more handsome over the years. He was nicknamed the Angel of Bloodshed in the base. Here people left the house and slapped into the academy. Here he enters the academy. Here behind his back 2 guys are hiding and in front of him appears some fat guy, looks like a genin who was recently released. You also their friend? Asked fat man. And what I think Poikinical this time takes him as to overturn through himself. This loses consciousness after falling. Friend Naruto comes up and hand and you say as they call him. People decided, smiled, this could skip this boredom. Teleported. You needed something? Asked Dug Up. I bow. Then sat Kushana past Minato and Minakam. This girl was born Cadas. Then there was a big holiday. She had green eyes like emerald and like a cut of hair. She is a small copy of Kushana. I want to tell the truth. Who are your parents after all? You still lived under the illusion that they died? So asked the excited blonde. Yes, I want to know, and about the illusion without a clue. Dryly answered people. So here are your parents. We told. The gang lowered his gaze. What did you want? Asked Dug Up without twitching, not a single muscle on his face. Forgive me, Norden. I really. Then asked if you will forgive me and come back home for our sake. Asked Padet. Some hope you left me. Now you want me to come back? Asked Naruto, raising one eyebrow. Forgive. Apologize. I need on my knees in front of my son. Naruto began to cry. He thought that he would not forgive him. Minata herself. No dads, I forgive you if you promise not to be afraid anymore. Don't abandon others. You can't even imagine how hard it is to live alone in this cruel world. Naruto will definitely move in with us. With hope. Asked Forgiven. I promise nothing. I have a girlfriend. I can legally say that I read she is the first and only one of my life. If you have a big house then I don't mind. Minato looked with a face. You underestimate me. People but only laughed. They went home to Naruto, whom he bought and where he lives now. When they entered, Minato was shocked because the house is just huge. Minato looked at Naruto with surprise. Of the people, he smiled sweetly. They went to pick up things. Are you sure you want to live with us? Asked Yellow Lightning. My home is where it is waiting for me. Answered, smiled and said Matryoshkas will return today at 7. Should clearly answered. Naruto briefly collected all the things, already left the house. Closing the doors, they went to the academy. Everyone was surprised and looked towards Hokage and how an angel was walking next to him. Bloodshed. And so they approached the house. Of the Hokage honey, we couldn't yet digest the information received today. Approaching Naruto, he said, "Nonsense, I'm sorry that I teased you. I apologize. In life everyone makes mistakes, it's normal. You need to be able to forgive and let go." Naruto smiled. "Understood, let's go home." Said me, Moldapa is like this. The whole day flew by. During it was already 2012 as I should have come home, but I'm still not. Naruto left a note on the refrigerator. The contents of the note: he come home Hokage right now. When you come we need to talk. But it approached Minato and asked, when you sent the hack village of sand to escort someone. Captain Naruto golden name, and quickly ran out. He understood who the criminal is. In short, moron, they will try to use her as a hostage. Naruto ran from the village towards the village of Pescam. He turned on the nine-tail mode in the Demon of Ash and ran at the speed of sound. He had already heard the sounds of battles. Then he saw Haku, who was fighting against someone in the four of sound. She was not losing and was trying to drag out time as much as possible. When she saw Naruto, she smiled. He ran. In fact, the body, they were all in the second level cursed seal mode. He is Robo, tried to hit Naruto, but Naruto also extended his fist and Jiroba's hand. She simply tore it apart, but this was shouted, and MTS, he and Jiroba appeared black flames, and Naruto ran to Sakin and Oken. They, in turn, dodged and tried to exhaust him. They tried, but everything went wrong. When Naruto was dug up on a clean tat ice, he humiliated himself to war. Then he ran to Toyou. They became Vitya, simply knocked him out. Looking at Kitamarav's eyes, he led him to the bitch of Yamyen and began to torture 72 hours, and about what only a second he fell with a broken psyche. Naruto began to fold seals. Katana screamed as if a sea of fire flew. He simply died under it without trying to fight back. Naruto came up with you. Are you okay? Yes. And with you? Asked worried girls. People smiled. L in the arms of Haken I ran. He was not afraid for the four of sound. To Roman they flew through the trees and stopping at one of them. You will be with me forever. Of course, beloved. Kissed Hakunarat's lips. Naruto smiled warmly. I ran to Konoham. We will get there. Entered the currency where Minatown stood. Something happened. Asked his father. Naruto finally returned. It was at night. Decided to wait for you. If you did not appear in 10 minutes, then I would personally run to save you. Smiled like myself. Well then let's go home. Asked the blonde. For example, let's go, as I understood how he likes to be in the arms of my son. Laughed at me. Their people only noticed that he holds a haiku in his arms. Was already red as a tomato and looked away. Smiled. Kissed the girl. And what do they want? Boring. Kissed 14 years old, and here Naruto at 11 kisses the first beauty of Konoha. They went home. People let go Hakam. Haka was a little shorter than Naruto, what was a little annoying because she was 3 years older than him. When Naruto showed their common room, yes, Narts will live in one room. What a Kushna good conversation, because at home there was only one girl. I am such a wife, and now came Kakai will be with whom to sit and talk. Cop minors. This also became good friends, and now as brothers. And why, as they are brothers of the people, promised to train the world. We spent the whole evening talking like that. A week later, and they went to bed 6 o'clock, but it lived in bed and thought, what yesterday did Naruto? Not a fool to trust everyone yesterday. Naruto, before answering, led everyone Gendizu, where he checked loyalty, and then the memory of the cat Mutsukami makes itself known. He has it without recharging in several years or months, but even too little use. When Mutsukami, he takes away points of view, but since he has a body of ash, it restores eyes. I made 3 situations, the way out of which is simply not the best. In the first, which Naruto showed Minato, will attack them. Sukyen, none of them went to us. They were already exhausted and were ready to die, but I made it so that she hands said so, either you or he. While here minutes, Naruto spoke on his hand. Then minutes without hesitation stood up to protect his son, and then in the life of the people was surprised. He thought that here the test would not pass further. There was no such situation to eat. That kurama broke out again. If you seal Kurama Naruto, then he will die luxurious. The same story. Then something sealed him in herself for the sake of her son. Naruto was not very surprised. After all, he himself loved his mother and was ready to sacrifice himself and my shift. They were attacked by robbers and Naruto was wounded then. In shock, so you apparently that the world of my people are hated was born and went down. Where were all the minutes reading a book today? Came some. Greeted them. The people were happy and began to brush their teeth. You are here with your soul. He threw one toaster. Went for a run, having run all when at least 3 times. Came home, went to the shower, went out to eat. The time was 7 o'clock. Naruto calmly and moderately. Today he wanted to put the rat behind bars once and for all. They nipples headed to the academy. He dug up very long hair. They reached almost to his knees and they were pointed and as if smog black. Because of this he looked like the great shinobium very Hyudaram, who together with Heshiramoisenya founded the home channel. I say that in Konoha there is his pro in legs, but no one has seen him yet. Naruto himself wanted to see him. Thinking about it, they have already reached the academy. You want to know the truth? Who the truth to? Moderators asked. Only inside him. Yes, of course, said inspired people. Soon you will find out, but I thought that you are such a fool. Told you with a sneer. Naruto did not understand, broke off the connection, entered the eye. He did not roll. Today was a day of practice. Students, go outside. We will conduct sparring method shurikens and so on. Said this hour the whole class followed him. Naruto is also no exception. Get out of the class. They went outside to go out. There were 2 classes. Their teachers were hand. There are whom Itachi led us to the training ground academy. We began to throw in turns to the river. To us, I looked at people from another class. There was a guy Ire Uzumakian and on Jahilgam. They Naruto was very interested. Also there was a guy named Yoshi Uchiha. He was nicknamed a genius. Clan check. Of course he is not a genius. That then, but still I hear cursed about the castle with his mouth go out on methane shurikens. And kunai shout hands. They Satatelli decided to exchange classes on one horn. On the rotor Neva came out and looked at the player waiting for shurikens and Kaniv forgave. Shurikens for you, not enough here, you have no of your own? Nazmesha asked hands. Naruto woke up for the whole village like a forest, and not like Naruto, so only some residents know who he is and waited for this. Got high-class horse siren such give only Captain Mango or there. These kunai conduct chakras, they are light on the deadly countries. In hand was surprised and thought that he found swelling on and said, do not want to change myself. I you who gives only Johnny to us and you show them to me. On kunai shuriken in Naruto's hands. He thought that he would agree because these are small. Stupid child, of course. And the hand blew. Did you expect such an answer? Asked Naruto in an icy voice, and suddenly the weight of the girls of the neighboring training ground was heard. Tank sense you will find he hit 7. Itachi said not bad. And why were you surprised? Because at such an age to throw like that is an excellent result, but my brother, of course it is better to show in the direction of Naruto and how he got with his eyes closed. He was very surprised. After all, only the recoil in his cat could do that, and he Itachi became his idol. He considered him the most brilliant in the world, not the savior of the world from the warriors of the people. Felt himself. Looks turned around. All the girls ran in when they saw Naruto. He was an angel smiling. I waved to myself long ago. Further, Naruto through Rikens decided to show off himself and jumping in a whirlwind began to throw shurikens in different directions. Icon, I thought that he was a fool. I was trying to repeat the legendary techniques. This is an hour for us. He was very surprised when the ringing of iron hitting iron began, and turning around he saw how kunai shurikens began to hit all the interference without exceptions to the center. After 10 seconds, Naruto landed on the ground and looked at the rough, which was shocked by the fact that all the pus released by Naruto got on. What mouth you opened? Close the mosquito will fly. And smiled on hands. I got angry and also tried to scatter like that on us several polyethylene girls. Several hands of the people quickly created shadow clones so that they would catch Sarakin, and here is one. He did not notice these girls with dark blue hair. The people noticed this but understood that he would not have time because of the hedgehog. People can die. People Quickly theory Nagin and said the name of the technique no more bruises for. The same girl flew back as a clone. Everyone was shocked. She said, this you fool. Why didn't you kill? I stuttered. Just curled up with their red eyes like a ditch. He went to him and approached that girl. Are you all right? Smiled, then looked closely. There, yes, with me all is well, said confident Yugon. She did not want to seem in the eyes of the people like a dog that can't do anything so well, smiled brunette. And now the people and turned their gaze to us. Language stretched out, dug up, instantly broke it. So that she could not move. Rats, why did you come? Impregnable fortress. Smiled at Rotten Mouse. Take it, said Naruto into the void, and then, in front of the people, a guy with chestnut hair with a mask appeared. Mice people herself. Are you sure? Asked Mouse. Yes, I'm sure. I was in the village of sound. Saw you. About what? Answered there, then answered, well, mice evaporated from the music. On this Naruto's mission ended, I could calmly leave the academy. What she did book while legs, he thought, what technique to study. So I think Naruto reached the house without entering, saw Hao and Kushina who was sitting. They were talking about something. He people there, what are you doing here? Well, march to the academy, he said. Red-haired mom, I have everything. I finished the missions, now I can rest. Smiled people there. So it means you found Chrism? Asked Hakan. Exactly, and now I'm to myself. I'm so tired. Lazily said. Found on the second floor. Good rest, son. It's convenient for women. People entered the room and went to study a new technique touching the subconscious. He went to the Celestial Empire, taking one of the scrolls with Ash. Ran along the lines, read a little. He chose to study the technique. It was already night. Naruto came out of the subconscious or what not. Go eat. Did not go to bed right away. 7:00 in the morning. A boy was sitting on the training ground. In the lotus position, he was wearing a black hoodie with the coat of arms of the clan Check and Zamkin, black shorts with the coat of arms of the clan Mikazan on his feet, ordinary shinobium sandals. He suddenly opened his eyes and extended his hand forward. In his hand a concentrated person began to appear. Rishara Naruto began to get nervous. What is? He will lose control, can disappear. A whole field of visiting the land. Naruto closed his eyes and began to concentrate maximum. When Shra stabilized, people opened their eyes. In his hand there was a purple ball with seals. He smiled at the people and said, finally there, all the practices, everything worked out joyfully. Shouted there. Naruto's eyes began to turn red and the manga ocean appeared. Looked at this, at the balls covered in cold sweat, in it more drag measurable with 1/4 chakra. Pigeon Naruto began to slowly dispel the technique. When the technique disappeared from Naruto's hands, he sat down on the grass and lay down. A month had passed since Naruto finished his last mission as Captain Anban. The whole month he practiced Hina Iasen Kanza Nabuhari, and now he reached nirvana because he trained 24/7 Nara Terra Spelsia in. Smile began to look at the clouds, and after 5 minutes of rest, we still have a female voice for free. You finally managed to master. Yes, I could. Smiled Haku. People there. Here Haka held out Ben. Their people looked at with a sly look, pulled to himself and kissed. How I missed her lips so. When there was not enough air, he stopped kissing. Naruto looked at Hoken. She smiled and held out Ben. There for the second time Naruto took and began to eat. The day today was beautiful, clear sky, pleasant breeze. People overcame Ben 10 and they headed home. Along the road they saw children going to the academy. As I told you, for free at the academy. You are late. For your sake I am ready there at all. Not tell. Come hugging Terra, said brunette. Guys, girls standing next to the blushing angel, so close to him. Some guys looked at Naruto angrily. Their boy in the crowd, said the guy. Don't hug the dog, not him. Naruto looked at the immortal. It turned out that someone wants to control my personal life. In a devilish voice, said Narden. Everyone suddenly thought, let's remember, and fell silent when they looked into the eyes of the people there. That was shining a red eye with a vertical pupil. The people involuntarily smiled when everyone fell silent. Naruto took Haku by the hand and they walked home. Slowly they reached the house. The time was 7:37. The people smiled at Dad and Mom. Naruto entered the Reina. Haku went to eat, not to cook. Get out of the shower. Naruto called me there. I wanted to make a special unit like and BOM, just not from a whole bunch of people. And how to All swordsmen fog several elite shinobi. I understood you want me to join there, asked red-eyed Yes with hope for his son looked at Naruto. Yellow lightning Konoha, are you kidding me? No, Minato apparently blushed. Naruto did not want to see his upset face and said, I will not carry out all the missions in short as your secret weapon. I will only go out on difficult missions, you understand? Asked lightning. Naruto. Minato began to shine like the sun. Of course, smiled Hintkezamon this, seeing how his father himself smiled. You didn't hear it screaming, breakfast is ready, good, let's go. Horror pumped up. Father and son come to the kitchen. They sat down at the table and saying this. Such oils retrapezan. Having eaten, people decided to take a walk. He himself also called they walking around Konoha. Naruto suggested the girl to go towards the academy. She agreed. They went to the academy. Go. They caught the glances of passers-by because there was a couple walking like angels. Having reached the destination, they saw that the class nipples were conducting sparring. He climbed a tree like just looked from the old man looking for about 10 minutes. Dug up bored. Having looked for another 5 minutes, he wanted to leave, but Itachi said very interested. Start, said it's desperate. They started fighting in hand-to-hand combat. There was nothing interesting, it was a simple battle of two ordinary children, Jack no Genin, and so the people jumped from the branch. Not touch. Saw the people. You smiled, waved. Naruto also waved. They Shako went to the rock Hakken. They sat on the head. 3 began to acquire this which Hakken bought. Having gone, they lay down. Today did not want to do anything as he knows people whose fate has already been determined. He of those who have already been engaged to this or that person, asked Naruto. Yes. What he do you want to contact me? With an empty smile asked Hakken. That no, and to be honest then yes, blushed people. He thought that how will refuse Naruto. The opposite side from which said I really like you, you will be my betrothed. That refused but approached him, which said of course you actually invited me to marry, I cannot refuse, and this is dear, I love you too, answered, and kissed their sweet as raspberry lips. People went home now. If some guy looked at Hakken, he literally emitted the aura of the nine-tailed. So here he could lose consciousness on the spot. On the way they met Kakasham. Hi Kakasham, they said. Hakway. Naruto. Hi, home to the children, asked Ash Seed. Yes, and where are you, asking happy people there. He still hasn't recovered from the confession. I wanted to go for a walk, do you want to go with me? No, I'm very tired. I don't think that Haku will agree either. Okay, good luck to you, said Kakashi. Went on. So they reached the house. It was already evening. They decided not to go for a walk, going into his room to change, and Naruto came up with the idea of buying new clothes. He went into the shower and began going out. They went to have dinner because they were heading to sleep at night. The room was full of people, so they fell asleep. 8 a.m. Breast got out of bed, looked at the clock. Today slept a lot, said the brunette himself. Got up. When he left the room, he saw his father running. Lemon, dad, something happened, asked. Dug up, rubbing his eyes. Yes, the Aquaman squad got into danger. I decided to send their first mission to help the village hidden in the sand. There was too much for that at all. They asked for a detachment for fastenings. I decided to send you and several personal subordinates and 2 elite jonin for support. Can you gave the wife, asked the leader of the villages. Okay, I'll go wash myself, they said. Where to? Us, in Naruto's voice. Did not ask unnecessary questions on the type and why they did not release more than. After all, if the bija breaks out, then destroying the entire village is no better than the fact that the elite bandits renegades will destroy. But they did not know one thing. Naruto washed himself, began to fry toast. To go to war hungry was stupid. He decided to put on clothes. After all, this is the best equipment in his arsenal. Sev that put on clothes disappeared in thunder. For years of narrowing, Van Mon visited the village of sand, and then he was given no strange mission of the Cossack. I wanted him to kill his son dog Soot. Then the people decided to agree that to get acquainted with the mountain. When he agreed, Goat died. Sad. Naruto did not understand the feeling of the Cossacks. They told him the location, went to him jumping on the roofs. He saw people going to work, going from it, merchants, and when he came to the location, he saw a boy. He grew up sad. He decided a little for him. Watching them, approached him and wanted to throw a stone, but he left. San then Naruto was surprised because for the first time he saw a person to the manager he prescribed read but in real life he saw. For the first time all the guys could only insult him. There is nothing to fight. When they left the people decided to act approach him asked hello how is she easy to the mountains asked Jinchuriki. Red-eyed again killers coldly asked the mountains and part is right I am a killer. But I will not even try to kill you nothing leaky one tail Ivan Gara a little surprised but answered Dan wanted otherwise I will kill you bloodthirstily said to the mountains I wanted to be friends with you myself to catch who do you want Naruto looked at him with eyes of complete emptiness he did not want to go because he is the same as he is to the mountains I am the same as this I take off the mask said Naruto let me help you I am also who let me help you make friends with your pajamas no it is impossible I thought that every person in the villages from some village asked the perplexed person. Your head is in the right place. Already made friends I want to help you said confidently small. Like me too this is a salute that they will support you they will love you will become brothers. Sisters friends maybe even love I have learned throughout my life to understand that not everything is perfect you can't give up if another said that there is no chance there is always a way out of this situation you will not. Like these 3 lessons helped me like never before even me hands let me help you extended his hand and closed his eyes Naruto looked at him for a few seconds he digested the words of the person standing next to him she decided to believe in her life once again. Everyone deserves a chance said Harry Naruto felt how his hands covered the opposite Naruto was delighted and said let me touch your forehead so I can enter the subconscious Harry came closer and dug up his index middle finger and touched his to the people. Changed he appeared in the room in front of him stood on his tail the walls were made of sandstone and sand this creature was chained who did you ask them what is his name my Narutovi case and here tailed thought cream said it is impossible this is to heat these ham. Thought tale of this sand and dream that you need hot human sadly asked tailed probably not me. He said dug up putting his hands in his pocket and behind him a huge silhouette began to appear. Whether he himself boasted was surprised when he saw his brother long time no see smiled to the boy who appeared with his back. Saying tailed here he felt thirst for blood and not one whole cream. 2 pairs of eyes looked at him and both frightened with their appearance Kurama said don't you dare call my brother pathetic if you don't want to die yes well said tremble fear that. How is he what is happening here asked Harry standing projectile. This ran out one tail and how Higara did not understand what was happening here and this is my brother tailed bark mom nice to meet you a little shyly said. Grief and now Naruto touched candy love we will scare if I write what part of. Lien that's how much better said smiling there okay, let's get to know each other normally. My name is Naruto. Check, and this Roman my name is. __, you are handsome when you smile they say he laughed the people there were smoking. Were surprised he showed real emotions only next to a person he trusted thank you my man was embarrassed and did not come out of the subconscious we went for a walk everyone was surprised. When a boy was walking next to the sand monster they walked like that until night and then went with grief he lives in one hand when people found out about this he had tears because such is his early age he is without parents in an unloving family he remembered himself and began to feel sorry I say he was surprised but he came up and hugged Naruto and said everything will be fine don't cry she said I forgave what have you let loose you are a wimp they went to drink tea and after drinking they went to bed they talked all night laughed the next day Naruto went back to the channel he the Cossack in a rage that they killed he took the money and not a small 2 million he appeared on the field boy on everyone was surprised when they saw a man in the clothes of Albus Mascari himself everyone from the detachment of chickens men recognized him and had an adventure he don't interfere on the field fight Docus Otikian. Repeat does not interfere with the people covered with light chakra said you can attack. Do not get underfoot Devalskim voice said Abscess there he was furious that the village of his friend in the fields. And Naruto ran at them enemies began to fly away immediately some no name. Wanted to hit him from behind. Hands of chakra appeared and grabbing the hands of the attacker broke them. Alliance of robbers and renegades began to fall apart without resistance. Naruto created 2 clubs and then ran at them. The same created avatar frames and began to create and began to shoot them in all directions. There were more than 50,000 opponents for those who could fight normally, no more than 2,000, so after 5 minutes there were less than 20,000 left. Here I also killed 7,000. He was not tired at all because the body of ashes almost never gets tired. The remaining 23,000 but killed. The bombs tailed you. Those who can fight almost are gone and it became simply boring to fight. Naruto stood in place, sat in the lotus position, having previously created 2 clones that held the opponents, but how to say held. They simply subdued Naruto and themselves with one hand with a dome. I read the book Naruto created I myself Kanzaka Nova Bukakea and launched 200 meters from myself into a bunch of enemies. These 10 seconds nothing happened. Cutting thunder thundered. A shock wave appeared and blew away everything and everything in dissolution. 100 kilometers. On the village there were barriers. Not only the barrier was not damaged, all the robbers were killed. The allies suffered. Naruto apologized but said art requires victims, but here it was unnecessary. Smiled. They suffered not much, a couple of burns. Conversation told I found friends for myself. It's all thanks to you. Thank you. Smiled Sandy Sun. Yes, over the years they nicknamed him exactly that. Over the years. Dry spirit. He spoke only to his Jinchuriki. Because of this people became friendly. Garyen and the village flourished. They talked even like the world said, okay, I'll go straight to you. I'll visit the harem. Smiled the people there are good. A little blushed a dog for us, but dug up, approached and whispered, when I come next time I'll bring sweets. A little laughed Naruto. Many sweets. Then I won't be sad. Good burn and she will laugh. Naruto, how hot. Naruto began to pout even more. A dog for us. Naruto began to laugh. He liked to mock the mountain when he himself was. I'll go. While smiled evaporated. He appeared at home. He was met. Will disturb on parents. My windows. They all began to ask how everything went and Naruto slowly approached and sat down on the sofa. I got up terribly, but all 50,000 enemies we killed. More precisely. I smiled. Naruto, wow, not Ranyen. Asked worried. Eat us? No, but I'm very tired. Can I go to the room? Asked the people getting up. Yes, okay, good night. Narden said parents. And mom calm. He was a little surprised that Haku did not say good night darling, but he was used to it. The people entered the room, or how to steal. Having undressed beforehand, he was terribly tired and went to bed. The night he felt like something was lying on him. He opened his eyes waiting for the enemy, but Haku was sitting on him and waiting for him to wake up himself. Suddenly the puzzled people asked us there. Yes, smiled. How can he? Let's go to bed. No, you will please me today. Smiled. What? Began to take off clothes. Let's do this when we become adults. Sorry that I refused, but it must be so. Okay. Sad. What? Began to leave. Naruto became found himself in front of her. Kissed. She sleep together. Maybe to us. Smiled on Rhythm together with Naruto and they plunged. Rastamorphia hugging. 6 o'clock in the morning in bed sleeps Brune long disheveled hair, and with him also lay a girl of about 14 years old with long as pitch hair, angelic face which rested chest. Brunette. Alarm rang on this. Opened eyes and began to wipe them because everything was soapy. Wiping he looked at on his chest. She began to wrinkle and quietly purr. People attacked, made noise. She opened her eyes and looked into warm eyes Naruto which radiated positive and love. Good morning said Naruto. Slowly get up kind said Haku, and also began to get up. People began to look at what she had. A slender figure, angelic face, and on her was beautiful and night shkan. Naruto began to quietly regret that last night refused her as she saw it and quietly approached, kissed. Crystallosu began to regret himself, said when we grow up I will not allow anyone to even touch me, so I will be yours. Began a shower. Naruto looked at the haiku with surprised eyes and said of course. Smiled Naruto. And now let's go said the girl. Got dressed casual, left the room, only sat and stupidly looked at the door. He decided to train with the harem today. They call him the Green Beast Kanahan. She is wonderful that to pull the form to withstand 100% of chakra and Used the leaf mode in the hermit with Reno gone, then he was sure that he would be invincible. People opened the door. I saw a medic who was going to the table like that, asked him there. I forgot to say I was at training racing, said bypass, scratching the back of my head at this. Looked at him with a condemning look because this pervert could spoil his character. Bro, let's go have breakfast, said Naruto and went. Then he entered, looked at his reflection, and for a second it seemed to him that the gifted Connor himself was looking at him. He rubbed his eyes and everything became normal. He brushed his teeth and it started to rain. Icy rain. Let them feel the cold, but it's better than under ordinary water, which he doesn't feel at all. He will come out. He looked at his whole family sitting at the table and joined in saying, "This is such a bridge." The meal began. Kyan began, "But we'll manage polygons and ask Hookah." I'll rush through my head when he found out that the traffic policeman was on the mission. "Okay, I can practice myself," he said to himself. An object under his nose slowly headed to the training ground. Having reached, he saw a boy of 10 years old who trained like crazy. The physique of this boy was simply ideal for this. Sat on a tree branch and watched him. Naruto was surprised. Not for his training, because they felt drops of chakra in this boy. He looked at how he trained, decided to approach. "And why do they feel chakra?" asked Naruto, walking to him, who had a pot haircut. "We are the same age and do not feel that I have chakra. Because I do not exist," the boy said, looking at the radio. Naruto was not very surprised by this alignment, because she assumed there it is clear why you train, because it will always be so that a person with Naruto's voice seemed to have just hit. After all, everything was the same with him before he met Kurama, all the others, and now he has become too self-confident and forgot how it all began. "It is clear what your name is," he plowed everyone instantly, asked the red-eyed Rocklam. Again pumped up the pot of his head. "Would like to feel chakra." "Yes, this is impossible operation with a chance of 0.1% and death is 99.9% of the people." Smiled at Valera Colia on the ground and said, "If you want, I will fulfill your wish for a couple of seconds." Tried to break free. For us everything was fair. People activated Nagin and began to scan the body. Rukali look for reasons for the refusal to use chakras. He realized when he scanned the paths of the chakras they were damaged. Because of this he could not use it. People and entered the celestial eye. Began to look for ways to treat this disease. He found a disease called a way to treat the tailed people. Smiled when he read how it is treated. Red-eyed returned to himself and began slowly. It had a healing effect, and not only she also had a raging rock. "Now you can use Chakram. I gave you this opportunity because I saw the old me in you. Thank you." Crying attacked Naruto. Rock no reason started to pat Lei on the back. So they trained until the evening. It was 1600 hours and Naruto said goodbye. Lee went to his home. Along the road he met Haku, who was walking with her girlfriends. "And your boyfriends?" "These girlfriends, they tried to hit on how his girlfriends did not even notice." She looked at Naruto at the market. "Look, he didn't want them to know that I was a guy demon." He put on a smear, because of which he began to look like Ashen. This becoming a book. Began to read, and he and running up Naruto kissed him on the cheek. All the girlfriends and 2 guys were surprised. "Otherwise ask her who is there." "This is my boyfriend," answered Hakan. Everyone was surprised and thought that she didn't touch because she didn't want to meet anyone and not because she has esteem. Naruto turned around and looked at them with red eyes. "Nice to meet you," said Dug Up. "Don't take off mask." "Nice, my name is Yuk-kan and I am Harakam and his Seikin Iced Saikon show yourself." Then the blonde and then the chestnut hair to you and then the silver-haired said, "About net clear people. Maybe you can take a walk with us." Ask them about whom. "Then I need to go home." "Atomika, my crane." "Good, by the way, won something really beautiful." "Good." Naruto went home, went into the shower, going out on himself. Black kimono, coat of arms on his back gave him a fugarka when he turned here. On his feet black sandals. On his face mask. Then he took a couple of thousand, about 200,000 higher. Slowly approached. Yes, people began to be indignant. "Parts not true?" asked, closing the stupid windows with his index finger. Said Naruto, "You can't argue," said the girl, and they went to the restaurant. Reaching the restaurant, They went and looked at the prices, were shocked. Ordinary rice in 2003, maybe. Let's go. Asked why, asked Hakan. Everything is very expensive here, forgotten like a crane. Don't be afraid, I'll pay good, said Haru. Chrysocom went, brought the bill. There was 7,353 friends. Haiku were in a little shock and then run, but Naruto calmly stretched 75,000 round 1,500 roar nights in. It said Naruto getting up from the table. I took the hand, headed for the exit. Everyone was in shock, the calmness of this boy. The group Haku, without saying anything, just headed after her. Naruto on the way, they started talking, laughing. Because of his cold character, he became interesting to guys as a potential rival and to girls as a cool guy. Walking along the road, they were called to a modeling agency. There was a competition for the most handsome and the most beautiful. They all went, but as on the helmet people, these did not want him. Haka dragged inside. There were 30 people, began to go out one by one and show their beauty. What a horror when it was Haku's turn of all. The angelic appearance, she was given 98/100 points. They would have given everyone standing alone. There was no beautiful dress. When they came out to her friends, we will only be fruits. 73 Stam Yurkoi. 78 became Sakin. 80 Station K. 85 became everyone liked his white photo. San here on the scoreboard appeared exactly this. Sneezed. Everyone was surprised when they saw the clan Chihan. Naruto slowly got up, went to the sleigh to show off and create Voronov SP plan. It looked like a real sneeze coming out. On stage, slowly began to take off the mask, having removed all the zeros. He was like a supermodel. On him there was no game you makeup on the face, was slightly pale and eyes he activated. Sure, nah, what should I burn my red eyes? He was given 132 sheets. After such a statement, everyone was surprised in general. One on RT, having scored a record number of points. Naruto wanted to put on a smear on spit, still said, not on that, we want to admire your beauty, said the confused girls. Naruto looked at not with a glance one, but decided not to dress because it was not difficult to breathe, so they walked until night, went home. Todoroki talked, laughed. Reaching Narita, said, come in through the door. I became crazy. I'll go in through the window and go to bed. Good night, said Naruto, jumping on the window. Okay, said Hakai. Entered through the door and Naruto just lay down on the bed, fell asleep. What is this? Hours quietly woke up, did not understand what was happening. Everything was like in a fog, nothing figured out. Naruto tried to activate the Sharingan, but he could not. What is this? Surprised here, but still remained calm for now and tried to fold the seals again, did not work. Summed up the red-eyed, something happened, something went wrong when I handed over the man to the prophets. But why then did it appear only now? Hello people, a voice was heard. Who is here? Surprised checks. I did not feel it at all. Chakras were already starting to panic a little. Heroes, you got into another world. Feel what it's like to be without chakra instead of poison. Another silent, and what exactly you should know yourself during the walk of the fights. But who asked? It doesn't matter. You will get out of here only when you achieve the main and most important thing. You will die here. You will die in life. Good luck to you. Stand pumped up the guy and tried to grab the wanderer, but what was it? He was so slow compared to his previous speed to achieve the main thing. And what was it? He thought. He began his journey along the road. He met many different creatures, but they were peaceful. What are you doing here? Tell me the road. The guy smiled, sitting on a branch, and said to our hero, should I ask? Naruto turning to face the enemy and looking at him with his bloody eyes for a couple of seconds. The second was horrified, but came to his senses and jumped down. Now on, let's make peace with strength, he said. He looked back at the guys. Jinchuriki dodged somehow and hit the one that is strength, and this one laughed. The one that my cake means nothing to him already began to panic. The people there about there was no such thing. Overconfident, the enemy began to attack again, but Uchiha dodged with the help of reflexes and developed skills. I also can't catch the moment. The only option is it really like this? I would never have thought that I would have to do this. We return to old habits, he said to himself, and began to run out. Only this you can do. Okay, I'll spare you this time. Run, lucky, I think. Naruto, and continued to run as soon as he Found shelter, went into it, decided to think everything I need to figure out the powers that I have, how it works exactly. Rock League and size sun humiliation chakra, how they are fighting. Meanwhile in the real world, honey wake up, said Haku to her lying boyfriend. Did you oversleep too much? Did yesterday's walk really exhaust you so much? Said Us with a smile, tried to wake him up, but this get up already, spoke the girl more loudly. What is wrong? What's wrong with you? She thought and opened his eyes with her hand. They were rolled up and only the white of his eye was visible. No people. The brunette quickly fell on his chest. The guys listened. The heart was beating, means he was alive. She calmed down. Yes, what is happening to you? Backgammon, she said, and kissed him on the lips. In Naruto's world, what kind of guy he is? Suddenly something jerked and she smiled. I'll get out, I promise, he said to himself, and went to look for a way out. After wandering around for a couple of hours, a couple of people attacked him and ran. Naruto somehow dodged. The second person didn't have time to hit him. You hears another blow, another one more. Couple Teruo Uchiha was lying on the ground. What, not so strong? The walls laughed. Naruto took his hands, all his remaining strength. Did you really think that I would die here? Slowly began get up and continued to speak. I gave a promise to return. He is waiting for me, Hack, and I have to return, he said. She completely stood up on her feet. A little layer had improven what one of the attackers said. Not under this. Him and all five rushed at Naruto, but then some unknown force broke out from behind the psychiatrist and really thought that you can attack me. You thought about the consequences, he said with a chuckle, and literally in a couple of minutes all five gave birth cheerfully. That's how Naruto said by himself, and the strength slowly subsided. But what was it, he thought, and went on. Horse, said one of the lying, and taking out a piece means dissolving like everyone else. All three, Icon said to himself. The guy with bloody eyes, he did not continue the path. When he collected all three pieces, a road appeared in front of him and he went along it. Greetings to you, Narutem, as I see you were able to collect all the pieces and got to me. We can conclude that you learned to fight without Chekayem. Yes, as always, calmly answered the Cheks. Then I will take you. This is the force will fight with me without anything, understand? Yes, who are you? All the features couldn't hold back the guy with bloody eyes. You don't have to know this, let's get started. Was right, I have nothing left. This is holding up well. We, who was the attacker, threw that weapon thrower but then came back, wanted to attack, however the speed was still not enough, so he started laughing at me. The second, yes, with a small grin answered the first. Yes, Pavel, be more careful. As soon as he finished speaking the phrase, a tree was already flying at him. Not hit him with all my might, I used your techniques myself, far away. Let all could not dodge all of them. On the results I achieved, let's say I created the so-called catapult from wood during the battle. Read what strength your attack should be in order to knock one tree over another. Also with the help of your wind techniques I was able to make one of the trees stumble, and here are your last kunai. One movement the tree flew at you. Explained that approaching the opponents does not represent another kuna. His throat. Well done, people, there we believed in you. Now you feel the battlefield much better. You will be able to spend your chakras more wisely. Remember this, horn. You can never be self-confident 100% because someone stronger than you can always appear, or something similar will happen. You have to do all this. You completed the task. Exit there. Finished. The old man began to read. I remembered. Thank you for everything. Let you taught me a little strange way, however I am grateful. Yes, I said. It went to the exit. Our world of narrative. You woke up. I am so happy for you. You scared me to so. Having said this as a favor to kiss your beloved, I was worried for you. Added to us in the hospital or something, he thought. Jinchuriki began to get out of bed. He, don't worry, I'm fine, answered Uchiha and hugged beloved. He, what happened to you? Know how long you slept? Even the Sonatas herself didn't know what to do with you. My head hurts. Tell me how much you slept. You slept for 2 weeks and it wasn't a coma or something like that? You really just slept for 2 weeks? Thought kept silent. Let's go home, suggested Pearl Urakian. Let's go, he agreed. The girl, and hugging her beloved, went home. As soon as they arrived, the girl began to cook food and Naruto sat at the table and thought about what was happening. An hour later the food was ready as he wanted. To serve it on closed up and began to fall with the plates but what is it they didn't even start to fall, but this too stood for her, held the girl lost not. Surprised, and Naruto was still surprised. He was completely immersed in his if he didn't even notice that the girl was falling. But how did this happen? This is a reflex himself, or what was it? Thought, hello, is it really because of what happened, but because of the fact that in this world I still have a screen? I reacted even faster. Interestingly, he thought to himself, sit down to eat, darling, said Hakan. I'm already sitting back down at the table. The couple sat down to eat. Squeaked. After the meal the guy took the initiative. The girl at this time went after washing the dishes. 9.00 to open. A pumped-up brunette was lying. He was sleeping peacefully, but sun bunnies started playing on his face and he had to open his eyes. He looked around and didn't see Hakan had already woken up or something. He thought Naruto and started to get up. He slowly walked up to the window and opened it. A pleasant morning breeze blew in for about 10 seconds, stood with his eyes closed in front of the window and received kaif. He went down but saw no one. Well, father was at work. Ahaku, where did he think people were? She didn't start trading. He went and took a brush, started brushing his teeth, took water treatments. He left the bathroom and put it down. Then he began taking the book. The history of Kanaka. It was written there that two great shinobi saved the village from destruction. These two great shinobi were the ones who founded the village hidden in the foliage of Madara, Uchiha and Shiroba, son John, their nickname. Yes, I am God, shinobi. Not only thanks to them, the trees of Konoha became the strongest. He read for about 5 minutes and heard the kettle boil, looking at him and putting the book on the table. He took toast from the kettle and went to the table. Naruto poured himself some coffee and started drinking. It was eating up the rest. He went to the second floor to get dressed. He put on a black hoodie with the Uchiha clan crest, also shorts white with a whirlpool on the foot of the troubles on which there was a sweater for sealing, and also shinobi-owned sandals, and went out through the door. Before leaving he did not close and began to walk around Konoha. He liked to stay alone. Silence calms him down. Passing near the academy, he heard a voice. He followed the sound. Me too. Listen to the lecture, asked red-eyed. You ask the brunette flared up. Naruto sat down next to Askell. Everyone was surprised because he had not been at the academy for 3 months. On the pit looked back. Everything was as always. Hinata baptized like a tomato. Can someone already check for temperature? The dog lover sleeps, sits with a stone face and nipples lie pretty. Smile looks in the middle of the lessons. We go outside, we will practice. Naruto himself went not with the class next to Haikon. Since when have you been a teacher? Since those very times when Itachi asked for leave. Clear, said Naruto and kissed the girl. Everyone was shocked. Attacked your lips, said people. Cutting off lips. Stood red, taking headed to the training ground and the students followed him. Rock said, now we will have throws, explained Hinata. Inhale and exhale, be calm. As a sub-ninja, a shinobi should be cold-blooded, said Naruto standing behind Hinata. Watch your hands, there are a few tricks for throwing a shuriken. Take it between your thumb and tangent finger. Do not exhale, releasing it with a light one, so your hand will not give birth. Make it so that all the rivers are an extension of your hand and throw, said Naruto, and Hinata threw you a shuriken. Hit exactly the center of the target. Thank you, people there, said nothing. Everything is fine. Well done, said Naruto and came up. How is he feeling? Asked, hugging his shoulder. Good, but I want to sleep a little. When you were in 3 I slept badly. Cleared. Go, hurry up, I'll give a lesson, said Naruto, biting great smile, dazzling smile. Brunette Haku went to sleep home and Naruto continued. Horn, he was doing spa x-ray. And why are you giving a lesson? We are the same age, so why should we show respect, said the student and began to sing. Yes, it was the students shouting. Quieter, pumped Naruto, and angry aura kurama broke out like the wind. I felt everyone in the village, and who is further than the trees than 100 kilometers past a cold reason. I'm not saying that you are obliged. I'm here for one day. I don't think that you are Such animals not to understand this do not respect me, respect them, as he shouted. Naruto, and on a subconscious level activated thirst for blood, everyone began to fall to their knees. Narrative only a second later came to his senses, apologized after several weeks of sleep. I lost self-control, thought about the people, and but for what banned nipples to the Uchihas to go out, and both went out to the training grounds, became opposite each other. Start, said the people, and they began with order to describe. I will not just a battle the people and Sasuke. During academy next, shouted Naruto. So went all day people teacher. With this Chan class liked how Naruto teaches because he explained everything clearly. He took folders with topics, went home. Kadohi, there were few people, this is all put these tales, thought that he broke out. Having reached home, saw something was cooking. Sop, hello mom, smiled. Hello son, studied positive for women and after water procedures sat down at the table. Your dad before the meeting of treasures the chakra of the tailed, felt the whole village of your hands with the deed, answered and asked. Kushnot, yes, I broke down a little. Ominous of perverts went around the neighboring village for some medicines, he clearly answered Naruto, who is already given about. Thank you, it was delicious, thanked the blow, you went to your room, you are welcome. Good night, answered the women calmly, and the people went to their room. Where did you sleep? How did he? People nearby fell asleep, he was very tired. 11:31 in the morning, a brunette lies in bed in the pose of an asterisk. Suddenly sunbeams began to play on his face, he got wet and slowly began to open his eyes. Opening, he looked on the clock and gasped. The time was very late, thought Naruto, and began to build from the bed. Mayors there, I decided to tell you, said Fox inside him. What exactly? The horse, asked the brunette. I take off my pajamas and put on casual clothes. Who is the grandson? Moderators to the check, seriously, answered the backgammon, stopped in anticipation of something very interesting. And who is he? A small fell Uchiha. This is what Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha people there. Naruto a little hung up and began to digest the information that had just received. What in the sense? In the direct, let me explain everything to you. During war, when nevertheless there was no clans, Uchiha and Sun were at enmity for the right to reign over the darkness. Over time the heads of the clones concluded a truce, but as you understand it was only in words. In a small village where there were only Check Sun, there was a lot of quarrel. Then Hashirama Sanjay Madara Uchiha decided to recreate a childhood dream, a village where everyone will live in peace and harmony. Indiana, this village, a large number of clans will live in the world. Then everyone lived in peace until the moment when the man in the mask attacked. He began to smash the entire village without trying to leave stones on the battlefield. There were shinobi blocks. These were Uchiha moderators. They fought against him for 3 days. Even they had a hard time defeating him, but on the third day of the fight and wanted to inflict a mortal wound and took the blow on himself, which he received a very man in the mask with a blow to the heart. At this time they were all very exhausted, and he simply could not move his body and received a blow to the heart. So and Shirama-san John not Madoru Uchiha became legends. Kanahina, because of truths we models could not continue the way Shinobium father and mother Madara decided to find a wife for their son and decided to take a girl the same age as Madara. After 3 years of living together, a girl was born. Her name was Mayakota. After a few years he goes on a journey to see the world, because all his life he lived by war. So to travel through the villages he wandered into a village located close to Kanahiam. He met a beautiful woman like an angel there. She had yellow as wheat hair. He fell in love with her at first sight and offered to date. She from surprise without thinking agreed. After a while she fell in love Madara and they began to walk and have fun every day. After 2 years they had a son. She was called a cop. He inherited his mother's golden hair and beauty and this very genius Denaruten modern from his grandfather. Naruto sat for a couple of seconds, digested the information which he had just received from his shaggy brother. Clearly that's why I am such a genius, said with some arrogance of the people. The people quickly ate, went to the shower, after water procedures ran to training field. So technique, concentrated. Harry he exactly with a Pasugaram began to remember how his passive Ability worked, he concentrated and near Naruto began to gather ash to make Naruto's cloak excellent. Then he became opposite the people. Naruto completely believed him. Ash well on easily flew. Desert Naruto began. At first he poured chakra into ash, but again failures. He trained until the evening, but only in the evening he understood how sand works. Garan growing chakra fox's ash begins to obey Narden. Then the clone threw a kunai. Ash stopped him. Hooray shouted at the top of his lungs. Clearing Naruto, he tired controversial clothes. Came home, there he saw past Shira exactly there, and girls forbidden set. Are you all right? Asked. Frightened windows created a clown who threw where and but. He stopped as he and not only she all present a bunch to us. Minato same paradise and began to gather. Where are you? He asked Naruto. We are at the festival, such once a year pass. Do not you want? No thank you, good-naturedly answered Naruto and sat down at the table. They shared a kimono and left. He I'll go cook food. You're hungry after all? Asked the girl. Yes, and I'm in the shower right now. He thank you darling. And what to cook for him? Can make a regular Roma or a Japanese style salad. They thought about waits. Hakan here she comes to the stove to cook, but then a brilliant idea comes to my head. This will be the best dish in his life for a long time. About doing this, let her be cold-blooded but also knows how to be embarrassed. In 20 minutes you will take a shower? Asked the guy who just came out of the bathroom, wiped his hair with a towel. Then the girl answered, you will go with me. Congratulations you on the route, said Kuram smiling. Kurama, yes. I'm not watching. I'm not some kind of pervert. Interrupted. Then in the forest, well, said Naruto and started a conversation with his girlfriend. Hello people there. Hello. Hakan said hello. Kushna followed her. Everyone else, you have already arrived so quickly, surprised Jinchuriki. Wow, fast. We were gone for about 3 hours. Are you still eating? He answered. Minota, already finished. Let's go to bed. We are tired. He I apologize, said Naruto, taking her hand went with her to the room. Kissing her, he lay down on the bed with his beloved. But this such thought the same area the morning of the next day. Opening his eyes, the brunette saw his beloved in a nightgown. Abruptly getting to his feet, he went to wash and think about what happened yesterday. The devil spilled on himself such an extravagant. According to plan, this should have happened in a year. Scolded himself from the subconscious. Yes, everything is fine, but the forest calmed him down. According to the rules of the country, from it is allowed to do 12 years, and if one is younger, then by agreement of the parties. And how do you know? But I'm still older than you. I would have lived accordingly. I introduced the rules, explained Kuraman. Let my rules not be broken, but I worry. Definitely everything is fine. Looking down, he said himself, it hurts. I caused her pain. Got angry at himself. Vaping. Narraticon, good morning. The voice of Hakan was heard. And good morning to you, Hakan, answered Naruto. I have already brushed my teeth. You can come in. And I ran to training. See you quickly, said Jinchuriki. I quickly went to make a dream, pulling on the first thing that came to hand, namely a black t-shirt with the check coat of arms and pants dark blue. Ran out of the house. I went to train well today until the decline of the village, but it will be like a punishment. Do not forgive us, told the people this to himself, and began training. He did a couple of the strongest approaches to physical training, ran all his techniques a couple dozen times. Come on chakras, are you sure? You look tired. You can lose consciousness. I told you chakras. Come on, repeated the brunette in a ruder tone. The mayor, this sorry, but no, I'm worried about you, answered Rice. Uchiha appeared in the subconscious near him and said in a cold tone with an empty look, you make me repeat. I haul chakras. Come on, I answered with silence. Then the brand activated Shillingen said again, chakra. Come on. Okay, oil, agreed. Kuraman would have answered the guy right away and covered with the veil. Kurama continued training. 10 p.m. NYR. That's enough already. Do it like that a couple dozen more times and you will lose consciousness. I didn't even help you, said Kuraman quietly to me. Everything is under control. Loudly and out of breath replied Creation. More check I will not give you, answered Alice. Having turned boy went somewhere. Naruto did not pay attention to him and continued training. Give A chance. As soon as the chickens moved away from the place he immediately ran home. How is he? I am Curium and hello listen there. Naruto he went crazy. He trained all this time continuously. He used my chakra. His alternating her a little more. He will lose Kolya. We are now. Kurama, oh no, Naruto Kona with another girl. I hope he is on his own as always. She thought and headed to the training field. Previously they went together. Arriving there she saw her beloved unconscious. He was just lying on the grass there. Naruto simultaneously squealed. Minato. Their windows appeared near the guy's body. Minato put his hand to him and all three of them appeared. Hospitals. Yellow-haired held Uchiha in his arms. He needs help as well as herself. So exactly, answered one of the doctors, and taking the guy in his arms carried him somewhere. An hour passed. What was there? The doctor asked. Although we are definitely about his achievements, he is quite a hardy guy, apparently very much trained. Yes, I was saying something like that. The girl said quietly. I apologize, the doctor asked, but there is nothing, thank you, doctor. When will it be possible to go to him? Asked me there. Then you can go right now, but when he comes, I can't say for sure. About 6 hours. He will definitely be lying down, however. I don't know how quickly he heals himself. I understand, thank you. The Hokage answered, taking him by the hand. Snow began to fall on the moose. You are always welcome. The doctor answered, I went to my office. They entered the ward and saw how nary you were sitting on the bed, not thinking about something. Are you already awake? Asked. What exactly? Approaching Naruto. Naruto looked at them. I smiled. Asked. Retrograde to me. He lost all memory, but with time he will remember everything. Don't worry, the chance that he will not remember anything is less than 1%. They exhaled with relief. He mouthed, it is you. Smiling said Father of the Sun. I understandably so meet here on Ruten. He smiled with all 32 teeth. Hakamine, you all who are here were very surprised. They remembered Naruto most of all because he is calm, reasonable, cold-blooded people. She looked at them. Asked, and where is Mom? We are in the hospital. This is the place where everyone is treated, not the sick. Become healthy, answered the doctor. Yasunikam said, red-eyed, bowing his head. Levon, and who are you? Then point your finger. Exactly that, asked Naruto. I am your father. And what is a father? A father is a person who will help and support a residential situation. The last lines, said Min Hotel, and bowed his head down. Nothing, everything is fine, answered Naruto. To me, my father? Yes, answered Min. You hugged your son, so you? She is my mother, pointing to Haku. Asked Naruto. No, I am your girlfriend, answered Hakan. Clear, no extra questions, answered Naruto. Seemed to have started to growl. Memories are returning in chronological order, starting with the oldest. It seems he had to become cold and calm. Analysis of love care would have remained life. Joyful Minato lowered his head. Everything is fine now. Everything is fine enough to achieve from the mistakes of the past, otherwise she can kill the future, said Haka, hugging Minato. Thank you. Quietly thanked me. There is nothing for there, answered Haka, and went up to Naruto. So asked the brunette. Thank you all for your concern. You don't have pain anywhere, only your back. Turn your back to me. Asked them what. Naruto did it immediately as suggested. Belladoni on Naruto's back, and Naruto felt the pain go away. Better? Yes, thank you, shyly answered Naruto. He didn't think she could heal. Want to go home? Asked the girl. Yes, then let's go. Took Naruto by the hand. What are you? From the floor there. He was in the usual clothes of patient, so she ordered him to change what she did. He put on white shorts and a sweatshirt, walking slowly to the house. Naruto, as they said, not in words, they send life with this girl. He did not understand why give it at home, and met to the height of the shift. Naruto looked at them and then at Hakan, who asked Naruto, hello, this is your brother over there. She is your mother and he is nobody to you. Sho Namin, we will then go to Kushin and then Najirai, answered the girl. Clearly, said Naruto, and sat down on the sofa. Called Haku in a crowd and asked what the start was for him. Museums. After very tiring training, he passed out, and when he woke up, he did not remember anything. He will return memory, and was scared for her son and asked the mother sharply. Yes, most likely, yes. The woman sighed. Let's eat. Pumped up, eat. appeared in the middle of the room. Right there, I'm very hungry, said Minato. Sit down at the table. Wow. Pumped up, Minato's appearance. Naruto, you can do that too, she said, smiling. Well, they ate in a crowd, asked to wash, because I was very tired, well. But we met in a very unusual way, we were enemies who were ready to kill each other, but then we became who we are now. I'm talking about a dream. What did you like about me? Because you were handsome, cold-blooded, didn't give up, were strong in spirit, and in general. There was no big reason why I loved you. Love is a strange thing. I myself didn't understand how I fell in love with you. I rejected you for 3 years, that is, you understood that I liked you. I'm a terrible person. Yes, smiling, asked how he is. No, not at all, I have a reason for yours, but I don't think that I would love a stupid girl, the red class student answered seriously. And Haku was hurt by these words. She never considered herself someone extraordinary and more than worthy. Naruto, she blushed on the face. Naruto quietly hugged from behind and said. Blushed on from the embrace of the brunette did not come out. He kissed the brunette, said I love you Hakan and I too. Naruto suddenly had a headache and sank to his knees from pain. And began to abruptly remember everything that happened. So I did not remember everything, but I remember that I people from Makan you like Yuka. My parents are Kushini Namekads, exactly that castle. Minato Namakadzen giggled, explained Windows. I need time to put everything on the shelves. I'll immediately go to bed because only information fell on me. I'm very tired, said people, and went to the second floor, passed out. Naruto abruptly opened his eyes. My girlfriend is one of those who like to eat at night, calmly thought. He stayed out of bed, went to the kitchen. The brunette slowly opened the door and also slowly began to go down the stairs, reaching the very not yet awake guy. Yawned and covered his mouth with his hand, but what he saw made him suddenly come to his senses. Pictures that he was watching on the kitchen was better than any blow to the cheek or something else, however. What? Naruto looked at one of the opponents. I don't understand. Then with a look like a crazy person, you don't even remember me. I wanted to say something. The guy about him interrupted. For my ocean, well, of course I didn't remember those. Who are you? Come on, get out of my house, he said calmly, and at the end in a serious tone added, only Haku leave. What else? My name is Hirat Ojmi, and unlike you I haven't forgotten that story. 4 years ago you killed my brother. I will never forget your expression. We didn't even do anything to you. We were just told to deliver a local cargo and you just attacked us alone and killed all 10 people you killed as if nothing had happened. That's your cold look, and there are a bunch of corpses on the road and already blood, and in the middle a boy with bloody eyes. You had blood on your cheek back then, and all you said was, the devil got dirty. That's all you said. You weren't embarrassed by the fact that you killed 10 people. I would have been older than you. I couldn't do anything after all. Not everyone is like that. A genius like you. You spared me, called me useless, and put some kind of seal on me. I couldn't tell anyone anything. I couldn't complain to him. After a while I started traveling to some guy. He helped me remove the seal. However, he didn't listen to me. He just disappeared. I decided that I would take revenge on you. However, I knew that nothing would stop you. Then I decided, since I wouldn't kill you in battle morally. However, your girlfriend was fluttering, woke you up, but even so I don't give up. I will fight you. You know that. Will die. Finished the story with Hiroi delivery. Got ready for battle. I wanted to say something. Naruto guy his nose with great speed. Wanted to give one correction. Was preserved on a subconscious level. Of course it was not ideal since the dog did not understand what was happening and at one point put a blow. Such a Mayam. What is it? Really lost his strength. No one. The enemy. The beginning could not say anything. She was connected with a rag in his mouth. Forgot how this generally happens. Began to laugh. The enemy to where blows one after another happening on the legs, and here Naruto is lying on the floor, can do nothing. He continues to be beaten with legs, and in his head jumps up a fragment from childhood. It repeats itself. They beat him again, and now look, now I will. Laughing, said Hiroi. Began to approach Haku. Are you? Naruto with almost closed eyes. No need. Very quietly he said, but he was not heard either. Naruto Tried to reach his hand to his beloved to somehow help and look, said hero, I cut with a kunai of night schools. This is terribly headache, but more and more often he saw fragments from the past. No, already, Naruto said louder than last time, but still it was quiet. No, even louder, said no, already with the remaining strength, shouted people there. I like it, I really like it, said Hiroi. Collected a nightgown with a girl for my ocean. What is this here with a stop? Pumped up, dug up, wanted to put, but one of the guys became his foot on the back and the state. Beautiful, I have been waiting for this for so long, said Hiroi, and at that moment he Naruto sharply expanded the grain and the guy who was standing on it flew away. It is not clear where NR remembered all this. His eyes began to madly dissolve in a whirlpool. Black began to mix with red, purple with blood red, and so in one eye was black and red, and in the other purple red. From the vertical pupil became normal human. It looked like hydrochromia. Karaman quietly said in the subconscious, you are back. Did not add another word. Began to transmit chakra from the man. Thought 4. The body up around the guy himself. The wind rose. Only 6. Thought Naruto will disappear. Flashes with one blow. Katana cut off everyone's head and returned to the place where he stood, but already held 5 heads in his hands. By the way, all this happened in less than a second, and then I realized what happened. Turning my head, he saw the whole picture. His life said, how are you next? You, but you will die only after 1,000 tortures. Did not even notice, but she was already dressed. Fireball technique. A huge ball flew out of his mouth. It was so big that it completely covered the entire training ground. The training ground, about 100 meters after using Naruto's technique, appeared near the dick. Restored it. Aging. I am a technician. This is still lightning. Thus Uzumaki used all the technique several times. Home, I joked about more torture. I would tormented you more, but I need Hecklin, said the brunette, appearing right next to the enemy. He obviously wanted to say something, but the people did not listen to him, and with a light swing of the katana he cut off the head. Let's shut up, he added. He disappeared, appearing at home. Hacken, you asked. Everything is fine. I'm glad you remembered everything, but I need to sleep. Something, the girl answered, smiling, and lost consciousness in the hospital. And appeared again. I thought, let him be dogs to put a seal on it. Namio said to himself. The brunette having destroyed all the seals that were in the house, he entered the room of the minot. Well, yes, they sleep as if nothing had happened. Seal suppression of sound, that's why no one came to help. Therefore, to himself, the brunette closed the doors to attack on this cargo box. The roof is destroyed, but also the hassle with documents and questions will be. He sighed and brought quickly to restore. Krishna finished the people this cleaning just at 9 a.m. at the time when everyone should have woken up, but he was just going to bed. You already got up, asked me. You saw my son in the kitchen, then explained everything. I sleep like in the hospital. She's fine, they'll discharge her today. Something happened at night. Why didn't we hear father ask the last question? Sound suppression. Seal then woke up. But Zamaki en route tonight brought a Haku. A yellow-haired man went to the doctor. Yes. We were surprised by his appearance. Start looking for mine. We didn't even see him. He accepted his girlfriend and left a note. He was in a hurry somewhere. Well, because in a hurry at night he was thinking about Hakujin knows. How can you ask Jugs? She recently woke up. Can you take her? Answered the doctor. Thank you. What was there? Itself concept corridors on the right, 2nd floor. Thank you. Again thanked Kushna, and they sent for the girl. Minato offered to teleport them home. To tell all this to Kushna, offered another. Let's walk. I think it's useful for you, and at the same time on the way you can tell what happened. Everyone agreed. They did so. The last thing I remember is how Naruto came back home and then I lost consciousness. Finished the story. Now it's clear why Naruto was the whole night. Decided, edited, added. __. Opening the doors. Hello, tried Naruto. You're not sleeping anymore. 6 p.m. You had to wake up. Then I won't sleep all night. Explained the castle. Ocean, I'm already hello to you. With a smile answered me there. Yakushno held him to the people's. A voice was heard as behind the hack agent suddenly appeared in front of her and began know himself not to hug. Sorry for her. If I hadn't overtrained then this would not have happened. Sorry. Asked for forgiveness. Brunette, to which the girl decided returned and kissed him. Great, let's eat. I quickly cooked already having taken food. Naruto Skaku went to the bathroom having taken water. Procedures lay down on the bed. The brunette quickly fell asleep as a player, but from that day Minad left a seal for the night on the house. Thanks to her he immediately recognized that someone had penetrated the house. Also seal did not give the opportunity to put any other seals. 6 a.m. So I felt that it was heavy, began to slowly open my eyes and saw Hakan, then put a sound-suppressing seal. Naratamel began to get up and took my things from the floor, and those in a black t-shirt and white shorts began to go to the door, but then turned around, covered his love with a blanket. When he went to the door he saw the sound-suppressing seal. He quickly took off and went down. 10 Illuminati eaten and passed on the couch, who is reading a book. Jiriam Naruto passed by, not forgetting to take away his brother's book because he is still small. Going into the bathroom, brushed his teeth and stood under a cold shower for 15 minutes. Go out, he saw how Haku goes down the stairs. Hello, said Naruto and kissed, and he went to the table and brought her scrambled eggs that his mother had already cooked. What are you going to do today? Is this chickens? And show me your eyes, started yelling at the whole subconscious Naruto. Yara, brother, this is, as I understood it, just a side effect from the fact that you used the chakram. You're my Sharingan on Mangyuki Sharinganen. Although there are only pluses here, you look like idols with such eyes, and you can instantly actively Manjek or Nagano. And by the way, on your Rinnegan there appeared mine, of course only 2, but this is also progress, explained. Named brother. Okay, thanks for the explanation, I'll go eat something nice, father said. Here subconsciously told them that this is a side effect due to the fact that he used too many different times. 7 o'clock. Minato, Naruto, Hekoinma are standing at the door and getting ready to go out. Opening the door, Minato, perhaps good luck, and used the Thunder God technique and teleported to the residence, but this also came a sensor, some Menmian and more flashes thundered. One of the Haku went to the academy. He appeared at the house. Head check. He began to slowly approach the house and went to the door, knocking. She heard how the doors go. Her from the krill of Kazan stood a beautiful woman with black hair. Hello, mom, smiled warmly. You can then, of course. Naruto went into the house where they were sitting. What are you talking about? Nipples, Fugacom. They were sitting just reading books. This feeling at yourself. Look, and looked in the direction from where they were looking at him. And under his eye got brother. Hello, brother, smiling, said brunette. This what did you see? But then ran up, hugged bro. Hello, sisters. Hi, dad said. Hello, Minatovic, brother, screamed Nipples, hugged Naruto. Hello, son, said Fugaku. Long ago. 6 A smile from him could rarely be seen. And Takham, I wanted you to teach me one technique. Of course. What kind of technique is this? Sasanam and Tikasovist he himself has not learned yet. Forgive Norden, I cannot teach you, to be honest. I myself do not know. Then the technique is interesting, I know, but not perfectly. Our salts were called bodily flickering. I think he will teach you. Well, come with me. Yes. Let's go. For a long time we haven't seen each other. All the same, everywhere. But began to hear footsteps from the house. Happy he opened the door behind it. We shove more. What is Takon? Asked to leave the Chek's house. He and Naruto are here. Hi right away. Where are you? I wanted you to teach me the technique of bodily flickering, but this is not a big problem. Let's go to the training ground. Okay, said Naruto and headed for the highway. They were approaching training ground number 10. The highway began to tell the principle of the technique of bodily flickering. So let's clarify right away, this is not teleportation. This technique accelerates you to incredible speed. Looks like teleportation, clearly answered. The brunette felt a stranger round. This is Chan. You found a student for yourself. A female voice behind the guys. They turned around in chorus and saw a girl with pink hair. Naruto for a second. Because it's Sakura. Why take such arrogant students? I don't feel arrogantly, said the girl. Had long loose pink hair. We ignore. Let's continue, said calmly. People still stick so well. The principal. You understand? Yes, and if he manages to fulfill the first time I will call his master, said this girl. People put one hand on the seal of concentration. Simply evaporated. Everyone was calm except for that girl. Lights, this is your peer asked. The voice, exactly the voice, because Naruto was nowhere to be heard in the head. Yes. Our peer. And what is it? Just she seems to be your peer, so weak, or the whole family Dick is so weak. A mocking voice heard by everyone at the training ground. How did you know that? Karko told a scared girl. We will find out. To you what answered. Naruto appeared in front of the highway. Never underestimate the enemy. Did not notice at all. Now in my, said Naruto, and right after a couple of seconds on the training ground lay a girl unconscious, and around her became three guys. Nardi herself calls you. As agent heard he voice behind him. Well, free, said Naruto Anban, and disappeared from sight of everyone. Called dad? Asked Naruto, appearing in front of the head of the village. Yes, tomorrow on the spot, you petty a bon, and we will close. We'll go on a mission to the country Stones. It seems does not start an attack during the exam on the chain which will take place in 2 years. You will go. Explained. Asked the blonde. Yes, I would like to dispel yourself. Can who is the Kuzriak of times? Asked the brunette. Yes. So said the Hokage, taking a stick out of the nightstand. This is Sakuma Hataki Kakashiha Takiya Hakoyu Ocean Eat. This is Sai and the main trump card Mer streaming con. Naruto smiled clear. Okay, I'm going home dad. Luck, I'm very tired. I don't know why. I'll go rest. Yes, okay, said the Hokage. Waved Naruto, and then the wave in response disappeared. Flashes. Naruto appeared in the middle of the room and without noticing it fell on the bed. Fell asleep. 9 a.m. People opened their eyes and looked at the alarm clock. You flew out of the room in shorts in the shower. There is no time, said Bran. This after brushing his teeth. Flew out of the bathroom. Made toast. Appeared in his room. It was not in vain that he taught the technique of body flickering. People put on the ones that he again appeared in the kitchen. Appeared in front of the gate where you were waiting. The rest of the members of the kurama. You were late, said the man. Masks of the dog. I was late because there were reasons for this, and what on the way I will tell you about the helmet. And the team was swimming. She like that. Why late? Started asking partner Masks Sabakin. Yesterday in the residence we were overheard. I did not want to interrupt the Hokage, so I left it for later. However, it seemed this girl is capable of covering her tracks with herself. Started talking about sneezing and continued. Let them run around the village a lot, but could find if smoke. I created a clone that to follow her. You know from which to the village. Apparently she also likes to sleep, so she spent the night outside the village and only in the morning she moved out. As soon as I woke up started following her. I seemed it's 10 minutes before my arrival she came to the village hidden in the fog. That's where I found killed. She began to finish a lot of things. The story was taken from the village of fogs. Hello, hi, calm together, said I received a pretty big reward. You can celebrate, said Naruto, to which made him suddenly shut up. How did what happen? Why are you crying? Appeared near. Did not hug. Tell me what happened. You know I will do everything for you, for anyone who hurts himself, even such a girl. Cried even more, and here we are inflicting threats. My best friend, my she died that day. As only left the task. I still can't calm down. Told the girl. Continued to cry. How it happened? Then I killed. Began to question the Jinchuriki, his girlfriend. She was returning to our village in her own, and she had almost come to the village. There she however someone killed her. She died on the spot. In my chest there was a huge battering ram, saying that these were the Konoha fighters. And what are they doing there? Only finished. Haku lay down on her boyfriend's knee. So what does it mean? It was I began to think. Brunette. It was very difficult. Guess yes, but there began to mock right inside. Not Dasha. So Forest. I killed a better friend Hakam when we were not with a stranger. She trusted only 2 people. It was a base and mine. I killed one of these people, but it tensed up. Began to think whether he did the right thing. On the one hand, he did not know that it was the best friend. In addition, she was a spy and knew what other villages should not know. Very X should have killed her. These facts calmed the brunette a little. However, he still remained confused to tell his girlfriend the truth or just keep quiet and leave everything as is. How a guy will act in this situation. What he should fix. Naruto kept quiet. Decided that he would tell later. Calm down, everything will be fine, said Naruto, stroking his back. Hakam, how Could I? My son was killing himself. Naruto, I don't want her to suffer. But life is such a thing where nothing can be predicted. Thought to himself Naruto, let's go to bed. You probably saw that she was sleeping on his shoulder. It looks like she's really tired. I'll take it to bed, I told myself under us Naruto, and carried it to the bed. Naruto a couple of seconds looked at the ferret but broke away, headed to the shower after taking water. Procedures, hoped and went for a walk and think with the student, so I wander around. All over Konoha he saw how several chin-ins mocked the boy but did not give up, tried to give selection. You can with you? Asked Naruto, approaching Chin. Of course, told us member closeness. I'm not asking you, said Naruto from him as if an endless sacrifice of blood went. Yes, who are you saying that? Not strict voice. Who am I? At this, taking a short pause, looked down. I am a demon, said he. Raised his head without looking at the eyes of Chinina with his blood-red eyes. Demon, monster, runaway, insult. 10-year-old boy. Naruto ignored their words and went to the silent. Are you okay? Yes, he said in a trembling voice. Music. I don't want me to start crying. This is a boy. Yes, don't confuse you. Beat, calm down. You are a man or you started to be indignant. Naruto. Yes, sorry. Naruto started to look at him and evaluate. Torn clothes, disheveled, unwashed, black hair, eyes are also black, dirty face like the whole body contains, and in principle, but the face is not bad, even very good. Hair is quite long and with proper care can become good. Are you homeless? Asked Naruto directly. Red eyes and yes, sadly answered the boy. Naruto noted that he most likely sneezed. And what is your name? My name is Ase. Come with me, I help you, said Naruto and went to his third parents' house. The boy looked in all directions. There were very beautiful big houses. We came, said Naruto, and looked one. Scion, this is now yours house for a while until you buy your own. Understood. Food in the fridge, shower works. How do we need it? Tomorrow. Come to training ground number 2. Understood, explained and asked Naruto. Yes, enthusiastically answered Tatsu. Okay, I'm home before. What if they come to the training ground? Come to the house, I live there, said Naruto, still rustling. Rich people, said obvious from the bushes. Let's rob him, we will be rich. What the __? Yes, one that thinks several steps ahead, said Naruto. With one swing the cat Nasalo 3 heads. He looked at his face, smiling and appearing at home instantly. Lux bites. 9 o'clock in the morning. Naruto began to slowly open his eyes, not seeing Hakken already woke up. Thought to himself. Jinchuriki got up. Brunette took a t-shirt and putting on the way took pants. I made a logical move that from a t-shirt, and he left the room and saw how some guy is standing in the air. They are talking about something. Narita got a little angry but restrained himself and just walked up to him. Good morning, said Naruto, smiling. Don't do that, you know that I don't like yours. Fake kindness to friends, said with a click. Okay. That's not all, Naruto said, smiling, kissed, looking at the guys like he couldn't even not bring himself closer. Don't be jealous there, it's obvious that you're jealous. Something happened. You yourself told him yesterday. He was perplexed. In the arena, who said it was cold people, and from him there was already a cold. You didn't recognize me? Well, yes, probably such a pathetic person is unlikely to be remembered by you. My name is Inside, don't lie. He couldn't. Zanetsu raised, said Naruto and looked at him with bloody eyes. This is Hungyen, said Insider on the seal, dispelled it in front of Naruto. A boy appeared. 4 children with an incredibly beautiful face. He was incredible, cracked clearly, but go to training ground number 2 in 10 minutes. I'll come, said calmly. People, this came out. Naruto looked at the hack and pressed against the wall. What were you talking about? Asked Naruto, and in his face sadness of anger was visible. Said Hakken, well, okay, I trust you. I don't think that you will hide something from me. Emotions give life for this. Clear, I'll think about it. I didn't buy you, it will be impossible to return life. Panicked fox. Narita kept silent, went to the table. After eating he disappeared in a flash. Appeared on the training ground. There was already running circles, dances, and another 10 circles and develop chakra. Let's go. Breakfast books will start counting. You will be my only. I am a unique student in something. Worry? Asked cautious. No, said Naruto, and in His eyes rage burned out at himself. Go run, said Naruto, and he himself began to run. Showing an example dance, looked at sensei, ran after him. They ran more than 30 circles. Naruto did not even sweat. It was his own dying of the fact that he could not breathe air. People ran to death until he would choke, but so he could spend a whole week. He understood it, decided to stop. I tried not to stay, but when I stopped. Now with this push-ups there are 700 on the press 15 times. Repeat, said calmly Naruto, almost grabbed Furita. Such words, but they stopped arguing. Otherwise perform in 5 hours. They finished. Tensa did not rest at all. He almost died. It went up to him and put his hands. I threw his hand past the chakra of 9 of the 9-tailed. It softly hit the guy's body and began to heal. I'll take him home, let him rest. Tomorrow we'll do the chakras. Said into the void. Naruto. Naturally 8 p.m. home, and he himself sat on the head of the first. What should I do? None of the strongest shinobi in the world. He is one of the youngest talents. But I don't know how to resurrect a person. Why am I doing something? Janna said into the void. Naruto. He disappeared with the head of the first Hokage. Appeared himself in the room. He was boiling with his feet and fell on something. Fell asleep. Came morning. Slowly opening his eyes, people saw a beautiful view for him. His head was lying on his feet. Windows. His girlfriend spent the whole night in a sitting position. What a mistake. Jumping himself. Bronstav on his leg. Excused, he added, and stretched out everything to kiss his beloved cheek. But this also woke up and turning his head wanted to say hello with his beloved, but it happened. Kisses. Hakan, you have already woken up. Embarrassed woman. Ocean. Yes, woke up with a smile. The girl answered and stretched out for another kiss. Yes, I love you, said blushing Hakam. I you too. You are a scoundrel. You make the girl say such words. It is only a joke, darling. I wanted to hit Naruto with a pillow but then smiled. They began to fool around. After a couple of minutes Igor Naruto went to __ and took water procedures. Headed to the training ground. Naruto to eat. Thank you. I was intercepted on the way by something, especially Tolstoy was probably already waiting for me. Well, okay. Just be sure to eat, added beloved after the guy the brunette was jumping on the roofs. Today he decided to run through the village. They, as always, will instantly rush through. Did not eat. Hello, Sai greeted the brunette who arrived at the training ground. Hello sir, let's with this gentleman. You can just Naruto or the teacher. Okay, then I will call with the teacher in one. Now is not about this. Today we will have a sparring match with you. You will have to touch me if you can. You won. The teacher wanted to interrupt that bet, but Naruto continued. I will not use my techniques or anything else, only this is a dream. Okay, I will give it my all. I hope for this, answered women. Rivers. Having made warm up, they went to different sides of the polygons. As soon as the stone fell, the fight began. The boy tried hard. He is at least some. He is a very tyrant, but all in vain. He could not touch him. Your task is to touch me. They cause damage, so Naruto reminded me about it during I was. This is a hint. I will definitely use it. The boy thought, stopped for a couple of seconds. Would have graduated. The teacher said in the years become Sai that he was surprised. Brunettes did not have time to turn around as you enemy touched him, and when he had time thought in his head, people there are still Naruto. To me it didn't seem so. It means this is it. Noticed for a couple of seconds aura pelvis changed significantly. He became a different person. What do you think about this? This guy is not so little. Maybe another genius with a sad story. Can be assumed that his memory was erased or rewritten as you know Shinoga, but this is capable, and if there is a serious injury after the attack, then you can try to help him. You are a good medic. If this seems true, then he should remember everything, because the memory is not erased, only hidden far away, said the people already in a voice to the teacher. I defeated you. Smiling, answered the brunette. Appeared next to him and putting his head on began to restore memory. You don't remember anything? Asked Jinchuriki. Teacher, what do you have? I don't remember anything. Thought, but then abruptly answered. Steam Arena. Okay, and what happened? Nothing. Everything is fine. Here is your training schedule. Will do, and maybe you are free. Slowly. Okay, teachers, answered someone. Naruto disappeared. Bark mom, and I have your idea. First, come up with a resurrection technique. Second, in place of the body with the help of the eye. Of the Rinnegan, do you want to produce resurrection in place of the body? Asked the forest. Yes. I can also help with the help of the eye, but for this I need information about the eye because my knowledge is too little about it. Okay, then you need the greatest library of Miran. The greatest library means the second option is a more rational choice. Yes, there is about everything. For the last few there is a lot of information. You need to go to the land of demons. It is tens of thousands of kilometers from the village hidden in the foliage. The land of demons. I read about it briefly, but I don't really know anything, answered Naruto. More than 20 years ago the demon and Marion unleashed a war in the world. At least this war Maria was defeated by 5 countries and divided into a body and a soul. His spirit was imprisoned in a special temple under the guard of hundreds of samurai, wanted sealed in one of the greatest lands of demons, and just that mountain is located. Libraries, as you understand, I would not let anyone in there, and of course there are a lot of guards, but the body is nothing without a spirit. Roman, do you remember I came up with one technique the other day? Yes, I remember you used. That's right. So the essence of this technique is that it completely destroys 2 similar opponents. The people were selected and I think Haken was sitting here. Hello, my beloved Naruto, you've already come pretty quickly today. I was surprised by the girls. Yes, there is a reason for this. I'm going on a long journey. I need to prepare for a journey again for more than a month. I should upset you, but I think it will darken. I need to shine. I have a hard job ahead of me. What? But you always returned in a month. Even the most difficult tasks. Began to be indignant at the girls. I'm going to the land of demons. I drank too much. Haku. Naruto, let's go. Without unnecessary questions, I'll leave a couple of clones with you just in case. Another one, although no one should know. No one said twice. I thought, well, if something important happens we talk and then destroy it. In this way all the memories are transmitted to me. I understood. Well, the girl answered. The next morning the Jinchuriki moved forward right up to Naruto, wanted to get to the spirit of the villains as quickly as possible and destroy it with the help of his technique that sometimes weeks are not here. He finally got to the place where the spirit of the ominous demon is kept. Jam, the entrance is closed. Who are you? Met security case. Who am I? Asked Naruto again and raising her head. Activated Sharingan, thereby driving the security into Gettitsun. I will defeat this creature here, he added, passing by them. Not even half a minute had passed when the brunette heard. Did he really think that it would work? Even the goal is not to allow anyone to the spirit, and we will do it at any cost. As they got out with the illusion, I strengthened it with a revolver. I thought that it would definitely help. Reason to myself, said in a voice Naruto, and immediately disappeared. Where did it disappear? Surprised the guard quickly raised with a jerk. Remove on our lands, shouted the second gate in which the spirit was sealed on through to fold into a huge cube after all the procedures and also covered with some kind of shield. Like that, not expecting this. The first time I see a defense technique of this level. It is at times the Susan family. I would like me not to break through, said Nero himself. Right, as you said, it is not so easy. You will have to spend enough force to get inside, but I will note this only if you want to break through the defense they bypass. I suggested to Roman. I want to say, to penetrate the internal it is necessary to destroy the cubes. The shield around it is all that is needed, is to find the source that powers the shield itself. But to deal with the club I will help you. It will be quiet, don't worry, answered the forest. Thank you, Kuriaman, also answered the brunette. Well, how to find that very source? This technique, is it automatic or manual? I mean, to create the technique you need some specific seals, if this is some kind of device. But Naruto sank without thinking twice, immediately answered himself. There are a lot of people here, but I don't see anyone who would power the account itself. Then this is what the device does. All that remains is to find it, I think, under the cube itself, said Kurama. Naruto, don't think went under the cube itself. Karaman, you were right, but how did you know? Was surprised at the Uchiha. Just an assumption, it's a small matter. Get started, he added, and the Jinchuriki broke the machine. This is so that it doesn't get reactivated, he said to himself. Well, what about the club? Turned to his tailed one. It appeared the hand Disappeared. I began to make some strange movements. After a couple of seconds the passage opened. Kurama, don't you want to explain himself again? The tale turned to this brunette explained later. The gap disappeared for sure. It was noticed by Ian, which means that now the guards are running here faster. It ends with this spirit. Alice answered. Perry approached the spirit itself and with his father the corridor raven. Having said this on the bottom of his mouth in front of him, his hands, he didn't concentrate on the spirit. What are you doing? Come on away from him. A couple of guards ran into the club and tried to attack him with a weapon, but Alice's chakra repelled everything the opponents tried to use. Various techniques on everything in a simple way. The person, for the sake of these tale together with sleep, did an excellent job of reflecting. As soon as Uchiha finished the so-called ritual, the head of the guards ran at him with great speed. However, as soon as he approached, he took on Naruto to attack. Crystals for ice with spirit disintegrated into small pieces and it came back, and with a look of contempt activated Shillingen looked at the head for a second. The enemy's heart became nothing could do, but then everything passed. They stood back to back. The head with a sharp movement hid the katana. In need you destroyed Domarium. So calmly began Hawaii. In the cube there was a deathly silence. Yes, briefly answered Naruto. What is your name? My name is the people of Chihan. General Lin, I apologize for attacking you, but you understand us. He said. That number. It interrupted. It doesn't matter. I am the greatest library. I want to be accepted there. I understood you well, briefly answered son. Naruto disappeared. About what? A couple of hours. Well, what was that movement? Began to ask a friend in the club itself. SOS. Then I fell in many different small cubes. My hour once used this technique. It can be called ancient. This club is unique. It is almost impossible to break through only if you do not have a whole sage or Rinnegan. However, to do this it will not be easy. That is why father created the so-called key of the gate. As you understand, the key is certain movements, chakra, and namely chakras you need to learn to form a form from chakra. Ordinary people it is almost impossible, but not the groom. When this technique is put, its own universal key is created. It fits all such cubes. I would be considered the original source. This key knows only tailed. I hope you understood me. There are some aspects, but in general everything is clear, said Naruto and ran even faster. A week later he got to the library. Drove forbidden. The same thing with Naruto, but this time I people told the Uchihas the brunette has already come. You prove that you really asked the guard Jinchuriki. So this is how Kuraman. We need information about the Rinnegans as well as all possible information about the resurrection, said the guy standing, raising his head up. The work ahead is not small, noticed Rice. Yes, the library is colossal in size, but I have a solution. As and more Nodite dream, said Naruto, and 1,000 clones appeared near him. You know what needs to be done, said the brunette. Began to search for information. The clones dug here and there. Some red books on the ceiling, some spices, others lay about. What, more than 3 days? All this time you did not sleep, did not eat. Are you sure you want to continue? Maybe you will break away at least for a couple of minutes. Your truth, a little rest and eat. Thus passed a little more than 2 weeks. During all this time, music. Here it is written that the technique of body replacement can be used on many people and not just on one person. I can resurrect an entire settlement in exchange for mine one body. Started reading brunette. In the book there were many rules written down, what is possible and what is not. Also all the possibilities were written there, all what he is capable of naturally. Even Fox did not know this, so Naruto read it in one for him. Looked here, it is indicated that on the shelf of number 113, 43rd row, there is a separate book which is devoted to resurrection techniques, said Naruto. Wrote here that many tried to come up with a resurrection technique, however, no one succeeded. Detailed records could be found just the same. Without thinking for long, Naruto began to read himself. About 15 books were interconnected and all needed to be studied in detail. Stepmother sat in the library for another 15 days after all this time, choosing the most important. You learned the exact order of pages in the EU. Alice, he density. Dan, I understood what you Are thinking with the help of your sealing technique everything can work out, finished red-haired brunette several more times. Read 2 books and said we can move forward. I remembered everything. You have to kill several people. It turns out he took away since she died a long time ago their blood. Vital energy steel substances should be enough to revive the body under other windows. I will do everything so that Haku does not get sad, added Naruto, and ran faster. A month passed and the brunette ran into the village. Excellent, all the ingredients are collected in the yard. It was deep night. The people decided not to see and start resurrecting right now. Appearing on the grave of a friend, he got down on one knee. I lowered my head, said sorry, folding a couple of seals. The earth rose on his shoulder. He poured out on the way. He more precisely jumped so that he would not be seen. Nuru there. Are you sure that it will work out? Because this man, nothing worked out. I understand we found the taxation, however the percentage is still small, 60 to 40. It will end coldly. Che-kan, I think as much as 60% that everything will work out. Should work out, and if not I have a backup plan. In one of them it was written that the leg is capable of reviving one body. In exchange for this I not some 2 parts of my body, so let me still have Ashen. I do not think that the Ashen body will help. In the book it was written about an equivalent exchange. Then you will not be able to deceive nature. Warn the forest, do not interfere. It is clear what I will do. Naruto could not restrain himself and finally started the ritual. He poured all the collected blood on the body. Having unsealed the energies, the remaining elements, he placed them on the sides. If in the long seal he put his hand on the girl's chest, lightning struck the pupils. The brunettes were surprised with surprise. She shouldn't have seen this, he said. He fell to the body. She's not breathing. Didn't it really work out? He spoke loudly to the Uchihas. A big wind rose and it was raining. Then plan B. Naruto tensed up. Became remember the seals for replacement is not necessary there, shouted as he Uchiha did not listen to her and listened to the knife on the seal. He lightning began to beat around the brunette girl. At one point lightning touched Haken and pushed her right into the tree. That after the first discharge the second was directed, he would have killed the girl. On the guy reacted in time, raising his hand up, shouted Raiden Karen. People spent lightning with the help of technique. Screaming in pain, Uchiha waved his hand and the technique from the lightning flew somewhere into the forest. The guy began to disappear in his hands, however. Because of the Ashen body it constantly grew back, but at the same moment it disappeared. Naruto began to feel pain and the pain was simply unbearable. His less than a minute the guy fell to his knees from torment. He saw how another lightning was directed towards Haken. He wanted to raise his hand and repeat the same friend as before, however none of his hands were there. Uchiha did not believe his eyes. In a panic he ran to the girl. That the acceptance of harmony on himself did not have time. The discharge fell all over the body as he and the body the guys threw the tree back with the wind. Everything that happened that night, it all remained secrets from everyone except me. How no one knew about it. That moment when I was like that lawn I saw a body under another. She was a real zombie. Looking at it you could understand that she had completely lost her mind over herself. This girl was a monster that I had to destroy with my last strength. Thank you Kuramian. Without him Misako would probably already be a corpse. In general, as a result of the resurrection failed, I lost one hand in my stomach fried by lightning. Doctors said that she would not be able to live more than 30 years. The Ashen body turned out to be not so beautiful as it turned out at first glance. Examples, I can't rip mine out so that I have another one. It doesn't work like that. In these 5 years a little has happened, but there are some events that can be wiped. My girls turned 18. Myself, so yes, we got married, even have rings, though it's not a very convenient thing. I constantly take off in front of Mrs. Seeds, put on only if we go for a walk. Where else? And started keeping a diary. As you can understand, this is the very first entry. I really don't know why, however Haku recommended doing this, and perhaps the main events. The war began. My grandfather Motoruchi turned out to be alive and declared war on all the villages. He has a lot of Armenians, but I know that his entire army is essentially one person. When I was in that very library I read about this also. On their side there is a guy who resurrects Machino Ben and controls the names That is not so. In other words, they have a lot of Armenians, but if you remove the dead people then this army will crumble to dust and ashes. But before you start looking for them I would like to talk to the mother and understand. What is his goal and what does he want to achieve in this war? We know that he is collecting this as them we have, except there is an assumption that he needs all the tailed beasts in order to create the 10-tailed. I have already created an eternal Sukwiomian with it, however, again due to the fact that we were in that librarian we know that. In this way it is possible to resurrect how his Motoro Kika is quite smart. I think he also knew about this, so the probability that our assumption is correct is only 35%. North again. Reread the diary. Interrupted. It's the fox inside. Yes, I made one entry a couple of weeks ago. I thought what else to write, however that I don't know what to write there. You can write anything, it's a diary, answered Uchiha, and taking out a pen quickly made a couple of entries. The couple set out to search. Madara summed up. The brunette a day later set out to search for his grandfather. How exactly the search took place, but shadow cloning is not in hermit mode. Surprisingly did not have to run for a long time. Literally after 4 days Madara was found. Naruto running through the forest and noticed a man in a sock who was also quickly running through the trees. Not thinking, Connor then touched the tree, thereby putting the seal of the report, and in the same mixed the clone disappeared, and in place of the seal the real Naruto appeared. The man in the mask that ran felt great strength and stopped for a second. Even this second was enough for Naruto to catch up with him. However, as soon as he wanted to touch the hand about what through the women of the river, not that to be surprised, it's just that he saw this technique for the first time in front of the eyes. People stopped near the guys. First I see this technique with my own eyes. He barely read about it. It was always interesting. Began to talk in the arena, and you guessed pretty quickly, answered. Second, is it you? After this phrase the guy pounced on the one with all speed, that to lift with a smear. However the hand passed through. You would not be able to react. It turns out you always keep your body in that dimension. Boring. Well, okay, what did he want to think about himself? Guy, and with whom? But did not have time, as the hand of the Jinchuriki had already hit in the stomach, and with the second blow one disappointment. You are not moderators, sighed Naruto, and was about to leave. How could you? Heard eyes of those who lived. I know all the secrets. Smiling over his shoulder the people answered, and left. He knows my name, but from where? Was perplexed. In the arena. After all it is completely on a different level. And you will definitely cope with him, thought to himself. Save 2 more days. Naruto found a real Motorola. I will deal with him myself, interrupted Naruto, and in an instant appearing near him wanted to grab that one over the shoulder. However legend Uchiha returned, tried to strike women river number. This also dodged, but here this man looks more like Madara than that guy mask, said Uchiha, and added complete disappointment. How could he call himself by your name, grandfather? He without effort. This is the left inhabited. I am his grandfather. Cover line. Interestingly thought to myself, grandfather, we need to talk already. In all seriousness, in a cold tone said Naratom, and covered with yellow chakra exactly at full speed, put her hand on the shoulder of the legend and teleported with him in the area about 100 kilometers. There was not a soul. He is together. I myself see perfectly well. What are you up to? Naruto meanwhile in the clearing. Nardi wanted to start a conversation with his grandfather. Not a single word is decided bio except Hashirum could not touch me. I think you can show fake dancing with admiration, said modern dancing means people. They were leaving the Kuraman mode, however. In addition to this entered the hermit mode. Well, let's dance, grandfathers, shouted Naruto, and at full speed that I sat down, struck the first blow to the face. Madara, the enemy, did not understand what happened on an instinctive level. Dodged that. Daramamal's not a prophet, jumped up, thought the enemy. Landing on his leg, instantly folded seals. From his mouth flew a huge fire and a ball, but he does not move away. Surprised here, Naruto just stood in place. It was new. How is this possible? Stood in bewilderment Madara, taking advantage of the opportunity. Uchiha instantly appeared near his grandfather, said, I prefer to talk and not dance, after which he turned around and calmly walked to the tree motor. Thought to attack from behind, first strike 2, another fire technique, a katana strike, and throwing weapons. None of these attacks did not hit the people there. From some he was growing, others just took on himself, let from everyone, and so he stopped and asked, played enough. After what was said, sat down near the tree and added, how small it feels, like I'm here, grandfather. And to me everything in this 15, only 15, inhaled legend, and sat down next to the grandson. And what did you want to talk about? War, coldly began brunette. War, in fact you just don't want to admit my plan. He is confident in everything. Peace will come to the whole world, everything will be fine. Your plan is eternal, __. I started to be interested in the younger. Yes, everyone will have what they dreamed of so much. There will be peace and quiet everywhere. All your dreams will come true. Peace will come to the whole world. Modern finished in a louder tone. Yes, really, he sighed Naruto and leaned on his hand. Chakras, you can say that he bombarded grandfather with questions. Soaring resurrection of the progenitor. What are you talking about? I didn't understand this early. You don't know so much. Can we say that you are acting recklessly? If I were you, I would study all the details more carefully before how to proceed with such a grand plan. Well, you know, I didn't have much time to find out everything myself. I barely survived after the fight. USA, mine is not this. I expected you people activated the Sharingan, tried to drive Madara into a Genji dream, but here I didn't get caught so easily. But what is there does not force to do this. Force is also much easier to tell you about everything than to tell the people there. Were upset. Do you really think that I believed you? And so it is pointless to hear you. I will kill you here now. Finished talking, Madara pounced on the guy, but his grandson just stood, took it all on himself. You really are annoying, grandfather said. But this person was not so easy to name. And besides, he managed to strike back. I understand why everyone was afraid of you. No one could compare with me in speed in this mode, and you also managed to carry out some strikes. It would be quite interesting to watch our fight if I did not have an ashen body. Uchiha the elder was focused on the fight and did not answer. If watching this fight from the outside it was difficult. Someone noticed sometimes about America or sparks from throwing weapons. A little later the entrance went techniques then and completely fight national. Maybe that's enough of this childishness, asked a little tired brunette. The battle is just beginning. Shouted in vain and began to throw other balls at Naruto. He sighed, the younger. Suddenly his Rinnegan lit up and he became covered with a strange cover. This Naruto was surprised. Even Kuraman, but the brunette kept silent, began to attack ancestors. What kind of speed is this? I didn't have time to think about Madara as I already flew off from one of Naruto's blows. Brana played off with the legendary ninja like a toy. When the older Uchiha was stunned by such blows around the two of them, the circle was recreated. This is the technique of the Hyuga clan. Naruto, when did you learn this? Didn't understand. Rizek inside Jinchurin 8 programs 256. Ladonian said quietly. Younger, 256 blows. How is this possible? Almost nothing. Understood. Kuraman people. This continued his attack. I completely blocked the enemy's chakra. 256 blows. This should be enough for that to calm your frantic regeneration. If I hadn't noticed this small gap of regeneration. Music, use the technique south. It's pretty exhausting for me. Nurden, no questions to Roman. I'll explain everything later. After these words the brunette staggered a little but still stood on his feet. Not much time passed as Neri found himself on the battlefield shoulder to shoulder with friends. Naradan, I still don't understand. You resurrected the ten-tailed and how you couldn't do it without chakra. Roman, fighting the enemy. Ask this Chan. I suppose they didn't take away some part of the chakra surf with me, however I didn't even feel padogs at that moment. Your powers and really horrors if I didn't notice the loss of such a large chakra. Noticed Shagamora at the same time driving the enemy. How did Kuraman? He definitely should have felt. I asked how he was pinning some monster I don't know anything about. Kuraman, Nastia, we don't talk and he's too touchy, but let him say. The brunette, you sped up with the enemy's attack. 10 idle. Such was heard the cry of the crowd of ninjas. I am all protected, shouted the brunette. Put the protection of Susan on all people, but What about the other player and Naruto that he hid them behind himself didn't catch up to live on? Them protection, look, they're all dead, and what will you do now as you agreed that you will protect all people? They make such loud statements to me if you are not able to do this. Suddenly appeared near the person and wanted to kill him, but he quickly disappeared. You are not even able to protect the people closest to you. I'm sure that she had the protection of Tsusa-san. Do you really think that so? And 10 tail so weak that you can defend yourself with one season? I specially let you show that it is so weak so that you were sure of it, but directing the projectile at your girl, already laughing a little, added I strengthened it and it broke through your defense, already laughed and began to pierce the body further. As a computer, people put me a Susan defense, but it could not cope. The brand got angry at maximum speed, appeared near that, and what, and the force hit Haku. Need such I love you. Oh, you are lying, you will regret what you did, shouted Naruto. Didn't he have time to say something as the people already squeezed him with his hand with a sharp kick to the back, still tore off, and the enemy flew away a couple of dozen meters. The clone Naruto took it to the medics and with the help of the replacement technique raised it, changed its original body with a copy. Now the real Naruto stood in the hospital and helped to treat his beloved. He brunette appeared behind his opponent. I would like to start the fight, but he said too easily. I will wait for the original, said that, and sifted into the superhead the ocean and grinned his torn off hands. It is already regenerated so quickly, surprised the brunette. Still from the battlefield a couple of hours later, doctors Naruto made a conclusion. Will live more than 3 years. The previous one made itself known. Early means not left, only 3 years. Smiled the girl lying on the bed of invisibility, refueled on the box. As I see you two, wife in uniform, I've been waiting for you, Naruto. So you are generally so quietly, said quietly to himself he, and super quickly appearing near the opponents hit him in the face. The battle dragged on for hours. They were equal because of crazy regeneration, but after all, chakra should have who such people acted quite a lot. Distributed chakra equally, it managed to restore itself. And what about against December on everything? Could not understand either. He has too much chakra or infinite. It did not look like he was worried about this. If you really so, then this could explain everything. He was resurrected. However, I have an idea how I can stop all this. Naruto makes a sharp blow to the enemy Koten and then manages to sharply dodge and end up behind the brunette. Destroys formed, having flown away on parameters. He said, you will never defeat me. These words, the enemy makes a sharp blow to the back of the abscess. There does not pierce through and through. He chuckled, but this one disintegrated into crows, was at a distance of a couple of meters. What are you saying? Your fate is in my hands, answered the checks on RT5 makes risks of a blow. They repeat all the actions themselves, and you will never defeat me. Just these words. The enemy makes a sharp blow to the back of the abscess. There does not pierce through and through. Feeling you live, chuckled someone will come. Disintegrated into a crow and was at a distance parameters. Sharingan, shouted nasty. This is the least that I can do. Their windows higher, and now I want you to tell me, who are you? I am here. I am an opponent. Smiled, crossing his arms near his chest, abruptly opened them to the sides with such speed that a breeze rose. Spring Sopoles, well, calmly said the opponent. Yes, it's just impossible. Naruto was perplexed. I didn't expect a Naruto case. If you could see your face, you are so stupid. Humanity is simply not latitude. You don't understand at all. Stupidly believe in something and fight for it in this life, and why only now these people help you and pretend to be friends? Have you forgotten what was before this? Eternal wars. Wars. Many people died, and why? Because stupid Katia decided so. That's why I cleaned myself in dust ashes. This world cannot be created new. Ideal world. With disgust said. This guy flew away, hit him on the cheeks. Appeared check. I came, and it seems just in time, because what is visible about right he is just clouded you at once. No, it's to the eyes it clouds you all. The code there. I agree among the guys. All wars in truth, and for stupid decisions like yen. Why can't you just decide family she? Or if you really can't wait, then you can take 5 of the strongest fighters from each side and Arrange a sparring, people would not die and everyone lived in peace. He Naruto in a sense you're right, but it's not necessary to kill everyone. Having said this, he also looked at his eyes and abruptly fell silent. Simply Takhal coldly answered. The brunette without turning around approached the enemy. What? Our plan? Asked. Even he had not heard before. Or what? We will kill all the ocean. Well, even with a grin answered the brunette. As soon as the juicer Naruto wanted to start cutting people to the agent, people stopped him. Let's unite, he said, putting his hand on his shoulder. Let's unite, asked again the second, but he will darken here, but he has a cat, but with poison he forgave, but I can't betray all these people. The brand looked around. All the closest to him, they all believe in me. Not Hakan, you are Ryan. Because of you I have shortened my lifespan even more. In the mouth. Did you really think that I would become your side? Adds to those people said there. Do you think you can kill me? And Tima hoarsely and laughing said the enemy. I took care of it, answered the brunette. That this is an unusual poison. My clone was resting in the hospital. I have completely studied. You did not believe it? Is impossible. All of us our time. He is an old man. How did you understand this? Not counting that it is time for him to show his face, adding tones to the last words and pulling out the cat, but said an abscess there. What you thought? Very Umiana quietly said the second. I am a son of a great man. You recodes not us, continued the tenacious Andryukin names. I am glad that there are people who can think. They just follow orders, but still I do not understand how you could survive. What about so many years? How are you still alive like this? Perhaps if you look also and understand and logically everything. Come on with you, everything does not fit. How could you live so long? And besides, your younger brother defeated you. You must be dead. I wanted to say something cool which allows you to stop. I will definitely tell you everything. You killed me. I will kill all your relatives. Guy Shringa to us and leaks. It seems I was surprised but was able to offer me some kind of resistance. Calmly told them. Drama. How could you? Why didn't you kill me? Said screamed people there. Do you think I could kill myself in such a state? Looking at the wound and spitting out blood, said the second. Does not want to hear how I survived the life of Big Makoi, said Naruto. That there is strength. Kicked him in the head. The blow was so strong, sharp, that the head fell off from the body and the guy flew away, fell on his knees and cried above the heads of his loved ones. All the crowd. Naruto that fought with these monsters. Head down. How could I do that? Forgive me. Brunette sent his clones to love and find the bodies of relatives, took to the heads. Having finished doing this, he brought the parts. It took some time. None of those who were could understand what was happening. As soon as the brand ended doing, he reached the power meters and Sev gilding himself folded his hands and began technical school. When he realized that everything had happened, he pierced the cuna of Lenigan and wrote blood on the wall that was behind him. Excused leaning his back against the wall, committed suicide. On the horizon you could see the sunrise. Naruto's body was breathing breathlessly. Then a weak wind. I was the first one for sure. Everything being able to walk. He had almost no strength, but still leaning on the ground with his hands, he rose first to his knees and then generally on his feet. Looking around, the brunette understood everything. You're great. I don't know what we did without you. Said this about what? With his already dead friend. Then daze in the head up and with a small smile finished that. No, this can't be. Why did the girl fall into a rage? How dare he? All the more strongly stuffed his fist with the earth. He ordered Haku began to crawl to her knees of the body of her boyfriend and saw the inscription on the wall, because of which the guy standing behind her began to cry even harder with horror. Watched all this. What an executioner is and not a hysteric. That's how it happens. The strongest die. Those who plan to survive at any cost. In the end they give their lives for the sake of their loved ones and die, and we couldn't do anything on collect in a couple of seconds. I stopped for a couple of seconds. I'm just pathetic with you. More seriously spoke. I have to ask you something. When I die, don't let them kill you. At least. Raising his head, our hero looked straight into the eyes of his friend and also try to protect everyone. I couldn't handle it, but I'm sure that you can. With a small smile he said without turning around, started walking. Stop, Naruto shouted. You feel I told you this is just a recording. Even this you knew that I would call You started crying, brunette bro. I don't promise I will protect everyone. Faithful with a look he finished. I didn't doubt you, and Takon this was the last thing the brunette said when the illusion disappeared, and this is still returned to the world. He saw everyone else. Everyone was just standing watching such a picture lifeless body. Naruto leaning on the wall, and on the other side knee stood Yuthan. If with tears in his eyes, already looked in their direction. A month later we will never forget him. He did the most to this village. Let it was sometimes a walk to Nerzak, but we all know he had some kind of kind heart. He always helped villages, and a month ago single-handedly this guy stopped the war and saved us all. Give your life for this. Silence to the grave. Slowly walked up to the window with your mouth. If you can hear me, I know we will never forget you. You will live in our hearts forever. I still love you and will never fall out of love. Finished talking to the girls. I am all and protected. Approached the grave quietly, said the guy with dark long hair. After a while everyone dispersed. I promise a full life, and I will also try to make sure that on the path of life was filled with only positive emotions. That's the end of the story.